Welcome to Nimin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are going to be answering your YouTube questions. But first, if you are watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know that we add timestamps to these live streams. So if there's something that you want to know about YouTube, of course, you can sit back and enjoy the content itself and, you know, have the information from all the questions that we answer today. But if you have some very specific things that you're looking for, we've got timestamps so you can jump down there and look for the questions that were asked so that you can see if there's anything that lines up with the things that you're wanting to know as well. So you can get to that information quicker if you need to. But with that out of the way, when I say we, in terms of we are going to be, I'm talking about myself and my brother from the same mother, D.
How you doing? Welcome.
Doing great. Welcome to another live stream. Super excited to get started today.
That was a risky start.
It was. Definitely a risky start.
We came in fumbling today.
Yep.
How's everybody doing? Hope you had an awesome week so far.
Everybody's doing great.
We got to answer some YouTube questions today.
We are. We are definitely.
Any YouTube news for the week?
So first, before we get into any of that stuff, I do want to remind everybody that today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, which is the tool for live stream content creators that will help you optimize your videos for discovery, help you test your thumbnails to make sure that the thumbnails that you're making are effective for the people that you're trying to reach. They give you full reports and everything like that to really help you be more strategic about the thumbnails that you're using. In addition to that, they have a bunch of other helpful tools that will help you as a content creator. You can check them out at tubebuddy.com/Nimin, so you can see all the things that are available for you and see what you find useful. This stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard, which is the live streaming platform that we use to stream this every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that we use it is because it's easy. They do all the heavy lifting, so it's not hard on the computers. We literally run this whole entire show on laptops, so it's really easy. But they make it easy to bring guests on. They make it easy to add background music, add graphics to your streams, to add videos that play during your streams if you would like. All kinds of helpful things for you if you're a live streamer. And if you're considering live streaming and you haven't done it yet, StreamYard makes live streaming easy. So if you are wanting to experiment with live streaming, it's a great tool to help you get started. So you can try that for yourself at nicknimin.com/StreamYard. So you can also see what StreamYard has for you. And I've got links to those two things and a bunch of other helpful tools and resources for you down in the description as well.
Starting off, super chat.
Yep. So Home Rapid Repair says, will YouTube, thanks for the super chat, by the way, says, will YouTube bringing back creator emails, with YouTube bringing back creator emails, will D publicly apologize to them? That was me, actually.
I will not.
That was, you know, making the, you know, the about me page email complaints. That was me that was doing that. I apologized and corrected myself for that last Saturday. I've already done that. Yeah, D will not be participating on any apologetic.
Yeah, I will not be participating in the apology to YouTube for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if I buy it.
No.
I'm not sure.
Nope.
Maybe it was a bug.
Maybe
it was a bug. Tinfoil hat. Maybe they tried it out and tested it to see.
People are like, what?
Yeah, people are like,
maybe.
no, we're not.
Yep.
That's not going to fly. And they said, oh, that was a bug.
Yeah, but it's resolved.
I don't know.
So we're good. We are good to go.
But I won't be participating in the apology.
Yep, D will not apologize.
I'm still suspicious.
Yep. Suspicious. Heel stuck in the mud, so to speak. Not budging even a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
let's not start off with a bunch of negativity.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I will carry that for 30 minutes.
Right. I'll carry it for 3 hours. So so it's probably better that we stay positive as we get into this. Jerry, what's going on, man? Nice to see you in here today. Lil Crafty Nook, what is going on? Nice to see you here. Zafir, welcome to the live stream today. Nice to see you here. Kev Goes, what's going on? Chantel, nice to see you here. Home Rapid Repair, of course, nice to see you here as well. David Matney, what's going on? Hope you are doing great. Everybody else, hope everybody's had a fantastic, Monique, hope everybody's had a fantastic week, and that you are here to get ready to learn about some good YouTube stuff. Tiffany, what's going on? Nice to see you here as well. Welcome to the stream. Hope everybody's doing great. Business Growth Ready said Elvis was also suspicious.
He was.
Made a whole song. Suspicious Minds.
That's right. Who's ready to learn?
Yep. All right.
Who's ready to learn today?
Yep.
I'm ready.
So we've got, I cleared the form literally right before we started. So just as a heads up.
Can you imagine filling the form out and putting all the stuff in?
And then I'm like, oh, hey, we cleared the form.
I just reset the form because that's the kind of guy that I am.
It is. Yeah. Absolutely is. So right now we just have one question in there because I literally just cleared it. So if you do have a question, get it in the form right now, and I guarantee it's going to get answered on the stream today.
While we're waiting for questions to come in so we can start answering YouTube questions, who saw Deadpool?
I've not seen it yet, but I'm going to see it.
Oh, that was so
Really looking forward
fun. I
to it.
absolutely loved it. It was so much. It was like 2 hours of just nonstop fun.
Yep.
My favorite Deadpool movie, and perhaps one of my top 3 or 4 superhero movies.
Nice.
You can call it a
nice. That's
superhero
good.
movie.
That's good.
A lot of fun.
Yep. What the hails? What's going on?
Hey.
Nice to see you in here.
Jerry, happy birthday.
Oh, is it Jerry's birthday?
Yeah, so let's answer the first question.
Oh, happy
while people
birthday, Jerry.
writing
Nice.
in.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So the very first question that we have here is from the Train Room. The Train Room does a travel advice about Norway content, the goal of the channel. And by the way, if you are just joining us, the form for the questions is down in the description. And Chantel also drops it occasionally here in the chat. I've got it a little bit further up in the chat as well, just so you can know, where to find that. If you are watching this on Twitter, if you go to nickniman.com/ask, I think it is, then that will redirect you to the forum as well. So Travel Advice Norway, the goal of the channel is to help other model railroaders and to show our layouts. The question is, I'm trying to retool the channel after eight years a bit. We had 2 general types of videos so far, tutorials and layout updates, where we showed what we did during the last period. The tutorials are live, evergreen, and are still being viewed after years, and the updates are barely seen anymore. My idea to go away from a period-based concept with titles, layout update March 2024, to a project-based concept where each video tells how we built the certain thing, for example, how we made our waterfall so realistic, basically blurring both kind of videos to make them more evergreen. I'm right that people will not watch a video if the date feels old. So sometimes they will, but you want to give yourself the advantage. So here's the thing. When it comes to those additional types of things that you add to your videos, some things that you want to keep in mind is when you add like episode numbers, sometimes that can work against you. Sometimes it can be helpful for your audience to follow along as well. When it comes to having, changing things that are like, March 2024 update or March 2020 update or whatever the thing is, then in that particular case, you are removing that date. I'm not going to call it a date bias. I don't know how you'd say that, but basically that interpretation that people would get that they think that content is just completely out of date and not worth watching. So here's the thing though, when it comes to that sort of thing is if YouTube's recommending it to people, it means that people are, still coming in and watching that video, which is good. But by generalizing it and taking it away from the date and making it more about the topic itself, you're just opening it up more in general. Because then when it's about the topic, then it's really easy for the right people to identify the content about something that they care about. It's easy for the viewer to have an understanding of what it is that they might get out of that video if they decide to click on it. There's just a lot of advantages there. Whereas when you have the date, then it's kind of forcing you into, a limited context there. And in addition to that, it just kind of, makes your titles, a little bit messy and things like that. If you're doing news related stuff, it's a little bit different because the dates are important in that particular scenario. But with what it is that you are doing where you're building out these projects, I think that having the date in there is definitely something that I would recommend that you didn't do, because when you are doing something around model trains, which you are, that content is going to be good and relevant and useful, and the same information's probably going to apply for quite some time into the future, which is what makes it evergreen. So because of that, trying to make it as about the topic as possible so that when you are, publishing those live streams or videos, you are giving yourself that opportunity for the longevity with that content. That's definitely the move that you want to, or the path that you want to go after there. Let's see here. We got Yes It's Me Tools watching from South Africa. What's going on? Hope that you are doing fantastic. So next up, we have, for the next question here, we've got Hudson Valley Soapery. They do bi-weekly content, been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do soap making content. The goal of the channel says, I love what I do, and I want to share and spark ideas. The question is, what is absolutely necessary to include for complete best practice SEO for YouTube? It's a really good question. So when it comes to SEO for YouTube, it really comes down to, first, understanding that YouTube's system is pretty smart. And since their system is smart enough, sometimes you'll even see search results that are not even optimized for search, because YouTube has, read the title, it's read the things that are being said in the video, it sees what's being shown in the video, and it's using all of that for context, and then it tests your video for a particular search term or a group of search terms that it thinks are appropriate for that video. And if people respond to it there, then YouTube YouTube's going to keep showing the videos there. So you don't have to have everything optimized, but if you want to give yourself the leg up, then in that particular case, you do want to optimize your videos for search. And here's why. So if you optimize your videos for search, if you are doing search targeted content, you are, intentionally optimizing your videos for search, then in that particular case, you are giving yourself an advantage because the default search filter on YouTube, if you go up to YouTube right now and you type into the search bar and it shows results, then on that particular results page, you're going to have an option to where you can tap or click into for filters. The default filter is relevance. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can look for there and a bunch of ways that you can sort for what it is that you're looking for. But the default filter there is relevance. So if you optimize for the keyword or keyword phrase that people are looking for, then you are optimizing for that default search, which is relevance. So the things that you got to do is the very first thing is, of course, you have to make sure that it's helpful to make sure that you do include the keyword or keyword phrase in your title that you're targeting. Also include that in your video description because your video descriptions are also taken into context. And then from there, this is the part that people struggle with because when it comes to YouTube, everything on every page is performance-based. So what that means is if people are seeing it in YouTube search, but they're not responding to it, then you're not going to end up getting search traffic because YouTube is going to detect that when people are searching for that particular query or for that particular term, that your videos are not pulling people in and giving them a satisfactory experience. And because of that, then your video won't stay there. However, if your videos do get a good response in YouTube search, then YouTube identifies that, hey, when people are looking for this, they end up finding this video. And this is one of the videos that people have a good experience with, where they are satisfied with this, they engage with it, they watch it for a longer period of time, things like that. And because of that, it's going to end up staying there until something comes along that ends up knocking it out of place because it competes better. So when it comes to search, the whole thing is just picking your keyword or keyword phrase that you're going after, optimizing your video for that. Now, another thing when it comes to search is you can optimize for the keyword itself. You can also optimize for the long tail keywords, which is where you get down into really specific information. So keep in mind when you optimize for just a keyword, in that particular case, you're giving yourself the opportunity to, possibly get in front of broader groups of people that are just interested in that particular keyword. But when you optimize for a long tail keyword, which is basically a phrase that's specific, then in that particular case, you are giving yourself the opportunity to compete for that very specific thing. So in some cases, there'll be a decent amount of viewership that's looking for that very specific thing. In other cases, not so much, right? So because of that, you just have to, research first and make sure that you are making videos about things that people are actively looking for. TubeBuddy can help you with that. But when it comes to search, another advantage is that it also helps you when it comes to off YouTube. So for example, if you go to Google right now, and you type in topics around the type of content that you make, some of the results that you're going to get, probably a decent amount of them, are going to show video results. So the cool thing there is that if you do optimize for search, it also gives you the opportunity to show up on those textual search engines like Google and Bing and anything else. And when people are responding to video results there, you can actually get a decent amount of traffic from Google search as well. So then basically it gives you the opportunity to multiply the potential traffic sources that you might be able to tap into as long as people respond well to your video. Now, one thing that I do want to bring to your attention is when it comes to YouTube search is great. YouTube search is awesome for long-term stable traffic. If you're a business owner and you're trying to generate leads, having some of your videos that you target for YouTube search is a great way to kind of create just kind of like a, consistent funnel of views, coming into what it is that you're doing, and also a consistent, lead generator. If you're promoting stuff as an affiliate, having videos show up in search when people are looking for things around specific, affiliate-based things, to where you show up there as a solution for those things or just information for those things or whatever, then in that particular case, that's also a really good move when it comes to search, because that can also drive a lot of income your way over a long period of time. Same exact thing goes if you have your own personal products that you're trying to sell and those types of things. So those things are great for YouTube search. So one thing with all that said that I do want to bring your attention to, or just inform you of, is because you said here, because you're on soap making content, you mentioned here that you've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. So because of that, I do want to just let you know something just in case you don't know. So when it comes to YouTube, YouTube search, is cool. And it's also a low-hanging fruit in terms of when you do target videos for YouTube search, you don't have to compete as hard because, I mean, you do, but not really, because then you're only really competing for the actual term that you're going after and not necessarily a homepage or suggested videos where YouTube is recommending everything to that viewer that they think they might be interested in that moment in time. So you're competing with all of those different interests, right? But when it comes to search by itself, you're just competing against the other search results there. And as people get past those results, all the other things that YouTube's trying to recommend to them now. So because of that, it's easier to get views from search as long as you are going for search phrases that are not, super competitive. Now, the downside of YouTube search is speed. And here's what I mean. So when you target videos for YouTube search, like I said, it's great for long-term stable traffic. The downside of YouTube search is you got to wait for people to look for what it is that you've made. Now, on the plus side, just because you make something for YouTube search does not mean in any way that you're not going to get recommended. Like, YouTube's still going to try to recommend that content to people. And if they respond well to it, YouTube's going to keep recommending that content to people. So you can, also get recommendation traffic, especially if you're intentionally double dipping in terms of optimizing for search, but also making it compelling so that when people are seeing it on home pages, it also makes sense to them, right? Then in that particular case, you're giving yourself the best of both worlds. However, when it comes to recommendation traffic, it's a totally different thing. The reason it's different is because if you make a search-based video, unless that particular search term is really popular or trending at that moment in time because it's something that a lot of people are looking for, like let's say, for example, the event that happened, not too long ago where, the ear got hit. Like, there's a lot of people that were flooding into different things looking for videos of it and things like that. So if your video, ended up being at the top of that, you could have gotten a lot of views really fast. But those are unicorn moments and unicorn things that don't happen, constantly. So because of that, the search traffic is usually a slower drip of traffic compared to what it is that you can get from the recommendation system. So when it comes to the recommendation system, the difference is you don't have to wait for people to look for it. YouTube is actively showing your content to people that are a good candidate for that particular video. So the difference is when it comes to YouTube search, unless it's something that people are actively searching for a lot, which means it's going to be super competitive, in that particular case, you're going to make a video for it, and it might take you months and months and months to get a bunch of views on that video. Whereas if you publish a high-performing video on YouTube right now, you could go to sleep and then you could wake up tomorrow, or you could, publish it now, and then by the end of the day, that video could have tons of views on it as long as it's a high performing, competitive piece of content for the platform. So when it comes to the recommendation system, you can grow faster. You can get huge spikes in like income if you promote something as an affiliate. You can like really, shake things up, so to speak, when it comes to, the activity that you're getting on your YouTube channel, if you get good at performing well within YouTube's recommendation system. So the reason I'm telling you all this is because you mentioned that you've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. And I know that in some cases, depending on the communities that you're hanging out with, a lot of people think that if you're just getting started that you have to use YouTube search. When it comes to that, you can use that as an approach, because YouTube search is a great way to start publishing content there. So it starts telling YouTube the people that are interested in what it is that you're doing, so that it kind of helps with the recommendations there. But just know that when it comes to that fast growth that a lot of people want, the recommendation system is a great place to find that. Now, with all that said, remember that, because you're publishing videos to YouTube, there is something called content strategy. So when it comes to content strategy, the idea there is that you're being intentional about the videos that you're publishing, the mission that each individual video has, and that you are also strategically going after very specific traffic sources on YouTube for very specific reasons. So because of that, when you are deciding of the content that you're going to publish on your channel, just running it through, like, okay, what am I trying to get this video to do? And this is before you write your scripts, before you put your bullet points together or outline your video, before you hit record. You're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to make a video on this topic. What is it that I'm actually trying to accomplish here? In addition to what it is that I'm giving the viewers, what do I want this video to do on my end? Is this a video that would typically grow the channel based on, the historical information on my channel? Is this the type of video that typically performs well on my channel in terms of view counts? Is this the type of video that typically drives higher, ad rates? Is this the type of video that typically, would do great as an affiliate if people are looking for it in search? Then in that particular case, when you understand those things and you plan your content out over a long period of time, let's say 30 days if you want to do it, quickly, or like 90 days, or in some cases longer. then what you can do is you can say, okay, I'm making this video for YouTube search so that it can help me accomplish this goal with this particular video in terms of stability, right? So, you know, sustainability is a really big thing when it comes to being a content creator and creating consistency in terms of income. If you want to do it with not, you know, not getting crushed with views, and then making other videos that are specifically and intentionally targeted for the recommendation system, so that you can tap into that side of things as well. And I'm going to show you really quick, since we're talking about this, I'm going to show you on my channel. I'm just going to show you an example here of what I mean. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull something up here, and then we'll get into the rest of the questions once this is over. So I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to go into StreamYard. I'm going to go into share my screen. I'm going to pull this up here on YouTube. Okay, and then I'm going to move this, and then I'm going to add this to the stage. Okay, so here's what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you right now how to take advantage of both at the same time. So let's see here, how to use TubeBuddy. So right here, you see my video pops up here. Now, granted, this is my view. I'm logged in, so you know it may or not be in the same exact position for you, but it's definitely here in search, and search has driven a ton of views for this particular video, but recommendations has also done great. So the thing that I'm getting ready to show you here is the difference when it comes to how you target your videos on YouTube. And let me double check in StreamYard because D is away for a second. So I'm just making sure everything's showing. Okay, here we go. So when it comes to double dipping, and this is kind of our educational moment for today's stream in terms of something everybody can use. So when it comes to double dipping your content, what I mean by that is that you are intentionally trying to take advantage of as many traffic sources as you possibly can on YouTube, and you're trying to take advantage of like external websites and everything. So right here, if we look at this particular video, how to use TubeBuddy, okay? So this is what I was optimizing for when I made this video, which is, you know, how to use TubeBuddy. But the thing that you got to think about here, and this is really important and a very important thing to think about when you are packaging up your videos and you're deciding which videos to make for your channel, and when you're deciding the intention or the thing that you're trying to accomplish with that video. So right here, this video is optimized for how to use TubeBuddy, okay? Now, if this were to show up on somebody's homepage and I didn't have any of this other stuff, right? So let me block out all of this other stuff. Can I do that here? Yeah, I think I can. Okay, so we're just going to grab that, and then I'm going to block out. I'm just going to cover all this stuff up so that we don't see it. Oops. Okay, so we're going to cover all this up, okay? So right here, if I optimize this video for just how to use TubeBuddy, this would help me in YouTube search, right? Because in YouTube search, people are actively looking for how to use TubeBuddy. So because of that, if I just optimize this for TubeBuddy, it would still be fine for YouTube search. However, the problem is, in order for somebody to be a qualified viewer for this particular piece of content on a homepage of YouTube or a suggested video of YouTube, the qualifier for this would be, I'm just checking to make sure everything's working. Okay. The qualifier for this would be that they need to know what TubeBuddy is, right? They need to know what it is in the first place, and they have to be interested in learning how to use it. So those are two extreme qualifiers that make the interest in what this is very low in terms of the amount of people that this has the potential to add value to. However, when you add to get more views on YouTube, suddenly what happens in this scenario is we have how to use TubeBuddy, right? That's what I'm actually optimizing for. But then we have the to get more views on YouTube. Now the difference here is that when we add to get more views on YouTube, this is a totally different thing now. So now if somebody sees this on their homepage or a suggested video, then in that particular case, it's like, okay, so how to use TubeBuddy? Oh, to get more views on YouTube. Oh, I don't even know what TubeBuddy is, but I am interested in getting more views on YouTube. So because of that, let me click on this video and see what this is about. So by adding this compelling part here to the end and making, and you know, just kind of thinking it through, then what that does is that suddenly makes what it is that I'm talking about over here more relevant and interesting to a larger amount of people. Okay, so when you're trying to double dip in terms of target search for some of your content, for those of you that are, you know, that do make search targeted content, what you want to make sure that you're doing is that you do think about, okay, you know, what's the qualifier that somebody's going to need to respond to this? What type of, you know, things are they going to need to care about in order for this to matter to them? If it does get recommended to them, and is there anything that I can add to this in order to make it more, more compelling for people that might not know, that much about this stuff. Now, where this comes in to be extremely helpful is, one, just being able to, tap into, more opportunities when it comes to bringing views to your videos. But another place that it comes in helpful is, like, let's say that you are, let's say that you're promoting something as an affiliate, or let's say you have your own product that you're trying to bring attention to and nobody's ever heard of it yet. In that particular case, when you are considering all of the different things that I mentioned before, you can still leverage recommendations and make what it is that you are doing interesting to people by thinking about them first and thinking about, okay, how can I make this about something that people will search for it later? So I'm going to go ahead and put that together so I can kind of secure those spots. But how can I make this also relevant to people when it just shows up for them on their home pages? And when you do that sort of thing, then you are increasing the likelihood of your videos doing well in recommendations and doing well in YouTube search as well. But again, remember, in order for everything to work out on both sides, that people do have to have a competitive response with the content itself. So hopefully that was helpful and really, answered your questions. But one of the things here that I do want to mention also for this soap making channel is, like, if you're going to be selling your soap, then in that case, making some videos to where, the whole way that you're framing the video is like, more of a general audience type of thing that would be more interesting to, general people that might be interested in, like purchasing your soap or just knowing about the soap. And then, making very targeted content for YouTube search that is about, people looking for information, about, soap or soap making or, something like that. So hopefully that helped. Okay, so let's see here. So next up, yeah, my pleasure, Hudson Valley Soapery. So next up on our list here, Neptune, what's going on? Hope you are doing great. Shark Scrapper in the house. What's going on, dude? Hope that you are awesome. So let's see here. So next up, we've got homemade greeting cards. Nice, nice, nice. They do card making content. The goal of the channel is to inspire others and direct them to my online course. The question is, I'm showing up on the short shelf a lot. However, I'm constantly getting most people swiping away. I use Opus Clip to make them. How can I improve those odds? Thanks for all you do. Can't wait for Vid Summit. Super cool that you're going to Vid Summit. When it comes to most people are swiping away, it's the choice that you're making in terms of where your videos start. Like, even if you're using Opus, I still recommend that you do go in and that you think about, okay, if my video starts here on this particular clip, is it going to give people the context they need? Is it something compelling? Am I starting to show or share or talk about something that might be interesting to the people as soon as it pops up? And if not, that you do hit the little edit button and then you go in and you move the area where your video starts. And then by doing that, what you're doing is you're increasing the, or you're intentionally designing the front end of your video, right? In terms of like, okay, when they come in, it would make a lot more sense if it starts here compared to starting here. And that by itself, I've found, can make a big difference in terms of how people are responding to your shorts out of Opus Clip. But in terms of that you are showing up in the short shelf a lot, that's good, right? Because YouTube is, showing your content to people. So a couple things that I would do. The very first is I would make sure that you are, being intentional about those edits and making sure that you are being mindful of, how the videos are starting. Inside of Opus, they have that edit button. I'll show that to you really quick just so you can see it. Let me see if I can get into my account here really quick. And I'll just show you where that's at, for those of you that... yeah, we have official Tim Tech says his Opus clips gets a lot of views. Yeah, so, it just depends on, how you set everything up. Like, sometimes they'll get a lot of views, sometimes not as much. But give me 1 second here, and I'm going to just see if I can quickly log into my account, because I normally don't go in under this laptop. They're sending me the verification code and stuff, so I'm not going to do that right now. But basically, yeah, there's an edit button. It's a little pencil icon, and if you select that, then you can go and you can choose where your video starts, stops. You can actually add additional stuff. So, for example, if you say, okay, I want this part of the video that's down here to actually start the clip, and then it'll go into this, this main part that I'm choosing this clip for. Then in that case, you can actually assign that part to an intro. So they've added all kinds of great features like that in there to where you can really customize, what it is that people are seeing and hearing on the way in. And I think that they're also adding another option too, to where you can also add teaser text directly on there too. So like when your video shows up on the short shelf or something like that, you can add like a little bit of text there for the thumbnail that you're going to choose and that kind of stuff too. So yeah, Opus Clip is an amazing tool. I've got a link to it down in the description for anybody that is interested in that. But yeah, like you can do all of that kind of stuff in there to help you just kind of fine tune what it is that you are showing to people. Hey, K Skis, congratulations on 100 subscribers. Nice. Love seeing that. Absolutely love seeing it. So let's see here. Next up, we've got... And by the way, if you are just joining us, we have a form down in the description. We answer the questions in the order that they come in. So if you're watching this on Twitter, in that particular case, just go to nickniman.com/ask. If you are here on YouTube, then you can just go down to the description and hit the form. Or I know Chantel drops the link in here occasionally as well. You can find it that way also. So next up, we got KC Paints. They upload 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for a year or more. It's a art vlogs and it's a new channel. The goal of the channel is to inspire other artists and create a community. And the question is, this is my second YouTube channel. My plan to grow this channel is through live streaming, me painting on the shorts feed, plus 1 vlog per week. Do I need more subs than 50 to make it worth it before starting live streaming? If so, how many, and best practices? So the thing that I would be thinking about is if you're going to be streaming into the shorts feed, then in that particular case, like it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have because they're just going to be showing it to people anyway. So if people start responding to it, then you can really catch a stream on fire over there, so to speak, in terms of the amount of activity that you can get. If you are not if it doesn't, do well when it does show it to people, then in that particular case, it's probably not going to, end up getting that many views on it. But one of the things to think about though, is since you are going to be doing your art on there, I mean, that's a pretty broad audience thing in terms of if you're in the process of painting something, like anybody can watch that. So, because of that, I think that you are doing something there that you might be able to, do really well. So because of that, I would definitely make sure that, you are just putting some time into how everything looks and all that stuff so that as people do come into it, what it is that they see is clear and just easy to see. And think about the fact that they're going to be viewing it on their phone. Because of that, make sure that you, zoom in where necessary and that kind of stuff. And in addition to that, make sure that you do have good audio so that if you are, if you are speaking while you're doing it, then in that particular case, people can easily hear you on their phones. And then in that particular case, I think you are, giving yourself a good shot there. So IDK Thailand says, honestly happy, but also feel a little ridiculous about it, but happy. So I'm not sure what the context there is. So I'm just kind of scrolling up here real quick to see if I can see the other part of that conversation. I think that's just a side conversation that's kind of happening, right now. So let's see here. So the next question that we have here on our list is from Neptunescape. Neptunescape has been on YouTube for a year or more. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to have a connection with other people and hopefully become monetized. And the question is, how can I improve my thumbnails and make viewers more likely to click? So when it comes to thumbnails, the general rule of thumb is one, it's important that you do need to test, right? Because when you are, I still don't see it. You know what? I have it in top chat, not live chat. That's probably why. Yeah, I still don't see it. But let's see here. So when it comes to your thumbnails, the general rule of thumb is to make sure that you are testing on a regular basis, that you're trying new things, especially when you're just getting started, because what you need to do is you do need to learn, one, how to make thumbnails, so making a bunch of them is helpful. Two, you also need to, learn over time what your viewers respond to, so testing is super important. However, the general rule of thumb is that you make, if you decide to use text, you want to make sure that the text is big, bold, and easy to read. Make sure that you don't use a lot of words. Try to limit it to 3 or 4 words max. If you can make it less, then that's even better. You don't want to use any fancy letters or anything like that, because you want to make it to where if somebody sees it, they can understand what it is at a glance without having to look at it and try to figure it out. If you are doing gaming content, I recommend that you do focus a lot lot of the imagery on the actual game itself. And what I mean is don't focus it on the screenshots necessarily. Experiment with this, but don't focus on the screenshots necessarily. Think about, okay, I might include a screenshot in here somewhere, but I need a clear focal point of this thumbnail that's going to help the viewers that I'm trying to reach identify that this thumbnail or that this video is about this game that they like. And the way that you do that is that you find, characters from the game, and those characters become the main character of your thumbnail and the thing that's going to help the viewers recognize that that video is about something that they care about. So try to keep it as simple as you possibly can. Try to make it compelling. Try to make sure that if somebody sees it on YouTube's homepage, that it's just really easy for them to go like, oh, this is about that game. Right? So then they can just identify it and then come in. In addition to that, do not put anything on your thumbnail that's going to distract people from that thing that's going to help them identify that the video is about something that they might care about. So what I mean by that is a lot of people, especially when they're getting started, they'll do things to where they'll have a thumbnail, they'll put like the character in there, and they'll start walking down the right path, but then they'll add like, a big channel logo or some other thing that shouldn't even be on there in the first place. And it's just a distraction to the thing that's going to help people identify, the thing that actually matters to the viewer. In addition to that, whatever colors it is that you're going to use with your thumbnails, big or nice and bright, is typically good because it helps you stand out. But also keep in mind, whatever that thing is that you're trying to bring attention to, make sure that whatever colors that you're using for your thumbnail does not also pull away from that as well. So basically, if you're using like any reds or greens or, yellows, that type of thing, I mean, depending on what the thumbnail is, it could be a bunch of different colors, but making sure that you're not using anything that's going to pull away from that thing that's going to help the viewers identify that the content's about something they care about. So when it comes to your thumbnails, focus on simplicity. And it's also important to know that just because it's pretty doesn't mean that it's effective. So when it comes to making thumbnails, you have to learn what's effective for the people that you're trying to reach, and what's effective may or may not necessarily be pretty, and what you think is good may or may not actually be good for the viewer. That's why it's so important to experiment, because when we make stuff, and you see this all over the internet in like YouTube groups. So like if you're on Reddit and you're looking in subreddits about YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you're looking in things there, groups there. If you're in Discord communities, you're looking at groups there, anywhere. Then one of the things that you are going to see is you're going to see that, people that put this huge emphasis on like pretty, right? But at the end of the day, what matters the most is what's effective. And people have all of these ideas, and you'll see people posting about like, oh, my thumbnails are great. I don't know why people aren't, clicking on my videos. Well, you think, and I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying in general, right? Like we might think that our thumbnails are great, but if people aren't clicking on them, then in that particular case, they might not be as good as we thought they were. So that's why it's so important to experiment and to continue to experiment forever so that you can make sure that you are staying in alignment with what your viewers respond to, okay? And another thing when it comes to your thumbnails and making your viewers more likely to click, remember that the topic itself is going to play a huge role on if people click on that video or not. The reason for that is because you can have a great looking thumbnail, but if the topic isn't something people are interested in, then they're not going to click on it. You can have a great thumbnail and title, but if the topic isn't something somebody's interested in, then they're not going to click on it. So you got to start with the topic and making sure that the video ideas that you have are things that, that you believe that the people that you're trying to reach will actually care about. And then from there, you got to think about how to package it up through the actual, thumbnail and title itself. Let's see here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Hudson Valley Soper says, that's me. I try to make mine pretty. There's nothing wrong with making them pretty, but you just don't want to sacrifice effectiveness for some like, maybe some like cool gradients and, things like that, right? Like you want to think about, okay, what is it like in your case specifically for here, right? So in your case specifically, if you're making soap, then in that case, being like, okay, what is going to help people identify that this has something to do with soap? Soap is, right? So because of that, making sure that you have soap in your thumbnails, making sure that it's big. That would be my first experiment. So it's like, okay, what we're going to do is we're just going to focus on a bar of soap or maybe a couple bars of soap, see if we find a difference. Do people respond better to 1 bar of soap in the thumbnail where it's just a nice picture of that? Or do people respond better to 3 bars of soap in a thumbnail or 2 bars of soap in a thumbnail? Do they respond better to high quality, like super high res images of that where everything's just lit and it looks almost like an ad? Or do they respond better to something that has been taken or looks like it was taken on a phone and the light is just kind of okay and more amateurish, right? Like just experimenting with that stuff is important because, again, you're going for effective, right? And sometimes, like most of the time, the high res pictures and things like that, they do the trick. But, sometimes like dumbing it down a little bit and making it feel like, hey, it's just, hey, it's just us at home and we're making, these soaps and, we just want you to come in and, enjoy this process with us. Like sometimes that resonates way more than like, hey, everything's just super high production and we've got all these like high quality pictures and like all this stuff. So experimenting on both ends just so you can see, what people respond to best.
They make soap.
Yes.
I would totally have some packaging around that stuff, like Tyler Durden type stuff, like Fight Club, just for that.
For the people that catch it, some like little hidden stuff in there.
Well, I mean, just like a thumbnail, make a Tyler Durden soap, just fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
Recreating, I don't know.
That's smart, actually. Yeah.
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 Like, I mean, it might pull in the wrong audience.
How to make Fight Club's soap.
Yeah. Like the stamp fight, whatever. It might
clever.
pull in the wrong audience, but it's just something to think about. Might be fun.
Super clever.
Something fun to do. I can't think of any other movies where they make soap.
Yeah, I can't either. But that's a good one though. Yeah, really
pink
good.
Bar with the stamp on it. And,
Yeah, another thing with Dee's approach too on that particular thing is in that particular case you're tapping into something that's already popular. Right. So, I know making soap is popular too, but in terms of like, something that's a lot more broad, that can give you, a spike in viewership. You just got to make sure the people that are going to be coming into it are the right fit for what you're trying to do long term.
Yeah, I'm going to add one more thing to that.
I had a bunch of stuff if you want.
I had an incident with soap. I had a skin condition and I went to multiple dermatologists, blah, 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 and nobody here could figure out the problem. Mm-hmm. And then somebody recommended I go to this old retired dermatologist that worked in a government hospital here in Thailand for like 40 years or something like that. He owns a pharmacy. So I went to see this guy, showed him my stuff, and he was like, first thing, I went to tons of different dermatologists and doctors. Oh, no, they give me creams and all this stuff. Nothing worked. Steroid creams, nothing worked. And he looks at it and goes, you need to change soaps. And I go, what? And he goes, here, use this soap. It was gone within a week.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he just gave me like a natural soap with absolutely nothing in it. Apparently there were some chemicals in the soap that I was using that was causing me to have some reaction.
Interesting.
Nobody else even thought about it. He was just like, you need to change your soap. So what about some videos, if you're not doing it already, walking people through some different soaps that they might try to use if they have various skin conditions. Something to think about. Yeah. All right, I'm out of ideas now.
That was good though.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man? Hope you are doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here today.
Yeah. He dropped the soap. He handed it over.
he handed him the soap.
I mean, you could also do stuff like how to make a prison shank out of soap. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with this stuff.
Technically, yeah. That could.
I mean, I don't know how fun you want to get, but I guess you could have.
Yeah.
Soap. You could put some soap in a sock and make a weapon.
Yep.
How to defend yourself.
How to make a Spider-Man head out of soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because then you get to tap into all the popular stuff. Yeah.
Right?
Yep, smart.
What was that in Full Metal Jacket? They put the soap bars in the socks and then beat him while he's sleeping.
Yeah. That was the last straw, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
in this case?
Yeah.
So the next channel here is Yes, It's Me Tools. Yes, It's Me Tools. They have been on YouTube for a year or more. They upload 1 time per week. It's a vlog channel. The goal of the channel is to have a creative outlet. And the question is, I've done weekly live shows that have done well, and it involves audience engagement, such as ask me anything anonymously and send me your anonymous questions. Any suggestions of cool topics similar to this to do? So I think, those particular things are good. I think that sending your anonymous questions is also good. I think both of those things are great. When it comes to a vlog channel, you know, if they're watching your vlog, then, you know, they're probably interested in you and the adventures that you're having. So, you know, meeting type of things, you know, it can also be, you know, fun in terms of like, meeting the other people that hang out in your vlog sometimes and having conversations with them instead of it just being you. Those types of things, you know, might be helpful as well, or just things to, you know, kind of add to the list. Also, if you have anything where you are, you know, if you get the opportunity to, you know, connect with other vloggers in some way to where you can also, you know, have it to where your viewers ask you questions, you know, related to that particular, you know, maybe live stream that you do with both of those people or that other person or something like that, maybe. I'm just kind of brainstorming some ideas there. Do you have any ideas, D?
No, but I'm reading Trap House Boomin says prisoners make chess pieces of soap.
Chess pieces, like defense?
No, just like to play chess.
Oh, chess. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
So
Got it.
what I was just reading some of the stuff people were saying about the soap. What was the channel? What were you asking for?
It's a vlog channel. They do pretty much AMAs, Ask Me Anythings, on their channel.
Okay.
And they're just looking for other, you know, kind of content ideas on things they can do to engage their audience.
Their channel is just about AMAs?
No, their channel's a vlog channel.
I know, but vlogging about what?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
First and foremost, did you see the problem right there? Right. I'm trying to ask him what the channel is about, a vlog channel. That doesn't, for someone who doesn't know your channel, that doesn't mean much to me. So.
Well, I do. I mean, that's my fault because in the forum I ask, like, you know, what's your channel?
Well, then tell
like, what
me.
type of channel do you have?
Don't ask me a question and give me part of the information.
No. That's true.
Because then I can't give you a good answer.
Here, I'm actually going to pull it up, and then you'll be able to answer that question.
See
Give
how
me
this
one
works?
second here. Yep.
Do you see how this works? I'm over here thinking about soap and Fight Club.
Let's see here. Let's see here. It's vlogs and lifestyle content. So celebrating Bonang inside the glam party, sip and paint with Thandi. I have an exciting announcement. Math restaurant gifts from Nespresso. Influencers aren't taken seriously. Dior deliveries. My favorite soup, and I lose my shirt. Is this going to cost me R15K? My geyser bursts. Yeah, so it's basically just like their insights into their life and what it is that they're doing.
Okay, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but based on what he just told me, and this is just from an audience perspective and something for you to think about. And I'm obviously not your target audience, first and foremost. But I want to say this. You have to give the audience a reason to care about the content that you're making. And everything that he just told me, and I'm not your target audience, so that doesn't appeal to me, but the things that he was telling me, it's you doing this, it's you doing that, it's you doing this. Like, what would be in it for me, the viewer?
It looks
so
like, because I'm looking at the channel, you're not seeing it.
I know.
So it looks like they have maybe kind of like.
So I might have you totally wrong here.
Yeah, it looks like they might have the inside track on some, like, you know, big events or something like that.
Okay.
Like, for example, it looks like here they're on some type of thing that's like a John something Madden, Steve Madden, some fashion thing. It looks like. This video's got like 16,000 views on it from 8 months ago.
What are people responding to? What are people responding to?
Yeah, it's here. They've also got some other stuff too in terms of just like general life stuff. But yeah, it looks like 3 weeks ago, 5,000 views. I'm not sure what Bonang is, but it's like inside of a glam party. So it looks like they are giving people like access maybe to things that maybe they don't normally get. That's what I'm kind of seeing here.
So giving people maybe like VIP access
kind of like
to
that
events.
is just kind of the vibe that I'm getting there.
Okay,
Yeah.
So here we go. Again, keep in mind, he's explaining this to me based on what he's looking at with a lot of experience looking at YouTube channels, and he's kind of stumbling over this. So what I would say, just based on that, and I'm not looking at your channel, is with your packaging, try to find ways to clarify what it is what you're doing. So when he looks at your channel and I say, what's the channel about? He can tell me the channel's about this, this, and this.
Yep.
Right? Not, I think it's about this, I think it's about this, I think it's about this. So when he lands on your channel with the wording that you use and how you package everything together, he should have been able to figure out within 10 seconds flat what your channel is about. And the fact that he had to struggle to do that tells me that you have a problem connecting to your audience. That's my opinion without looking at your channel. If I actually looked at the channel, I might think a little bit different, but just through the kind of like a third person thing happened, a fourth, what would that be? You're looking at the channel, looking at me?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, whatever. Third person, for whatever.
Yep.
Just getting the information secondhand. It sounds like the packaging could be better, so you can communicate with your audience quicker. So that when somebody stumbles across one of your videos, that's for me.
Yep.
Right? Oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. It's exactly what I want to see. Versus, yeah, I don't know what this is. Am I getting accent? What are you doing? Are you taking me behind the scenes? What are you doing?
What can
here?
I expect?
Yeah. So anyway, just something to think about. Not looking at your channel, so don't come at me if I'm completely wrong.
Yep. I'm coming at you, D.
But
Coming at you.
He's looking at it,
So-
and he might be messing it all up. But anyway, there you go.
Tommy Stig Social Club, thanks for the super chat. Says, great job, guys. What are your thoughts or the legality of selling a YouTube channel? Not me, because I'm absolutely loving StreamYard and YouTube. These two platforms are amazing. So when it comes to selling YouTube channels, technically it's against the terms of service of YouTube to sell YouTube channels.
Is it really?
It is. You can sell them as part of a business.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So
Yeah.
let's say I have a company making mugs, and we also have a YouTube channel as a part of that. I sell
mug
the company.
channel?
Yep, I sell the company where we are doing mugs. And as a part of that, the YouTube channel is an asset that goes with that company.
Okay.
Then in that particular case, it's fine. But there are marketplaces for YouTube channels where people can buy and sell YouTube channels. But yeah, that's
So-
it's technically a violation of the terms of service. to
So
sell
as your
YouTube
lawyer,
channels.
then I would recommend that perhaps if you're thinking about selling your channel,
fine,
that
you're a
you
lawyer.
build your channel around
I just
something
got
else.
some like fear and loathing vibes there.
That's where,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So, maybe put together a product and then your channel is actually part of the business versus that's just selling a channel.
Yeah. And if the carpet starts to move, just sit back, relax,
Yeah.
enjoy the ride.
I love the scene where he's going,
Yeah. right.
you need to
funny.
rewatch that movie.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it too.
Yeah, so good.
But yeah, like just be careful with that sort of thing, because this is one of those scenarios where people do it. People do it all the time. But like I know people that that bought YouTube channels and turn them around or turn them into something if they had kind of died out or whatever. So like it's definitely something that people do, but it is a violation of the terms of service. So because of that, just understand that and understand that what you are doing there is risky if you decide to do that in any way.
Yeah.
Renegade's Garage, what's going on? Hope you're doing
Yeah,
great.
but what's YouTube if you're not willing to take a little bit of risk?
Yeah, right?
If you're not willing to risk it all,
Right.
right? Open up that exe file that they sent you in the email
Right.
trying to get a sponsorship deal.
Right.
Yeah, install our software. We're interested in sponsoring you.
Right.
Click on it. Take the risk.
There's a channel in here. It's got a cool name called Log Hoppers.
Buy the ticket, take
Yeah,
the ride. Another Fear and Loathing Las
Oh, nice.
Vegas
Nice.
quote there.
Yeah,
There you go.
that channel Log Hoppers. It makes me think. You know how it
Hunter S.
might
Thompson?
be all this. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but basically, have you seen the videos where like they're on logs and they're sitting there and they're trying to spin them and there's
They're
two
rolling?
people trying to spin them and they're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
running that way.
Yeah.
Kind of what that makes me think of that. I don't know if
Have
that's what
you
they do or not.
seen the Chinese version of that with bridges over water or bridges over land?
No.
So they have these big ropes.
Is it troubled water?
No.
Oh, okay.
So they have these giant, these big rope bridges, right? And multiple people will stand on the bridges and they swing it like a big swing back and forth.
Okay.
And they try to get the other people to like fall off. The problem is it's either over water, so they fall in the water, or it's on the ground. So if you fall on the ground, they have to lay totally flat or the bridge will just knock them out when it comes back down. It's crazy. It's like
Sounds
Chinese,
high risk.
It's Chinese bridge swinging game or something. It's insane to watch. Some people just get knocked for a loop. It's not as good. What's the show in the Japan show where they put them through the obstacle course?
Not sure.
Come on, where they get hit with the boulders.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but what is that called? The Japanese show with the obstacle course.
I don't
Where the
know.
people put the helmets on and did they
Yeah,
ride?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just not
just
sure what it is.
smash
Yeah.
by some moving wall. I forget the name of that show.
I don't
It was
remember
so
either.
good. All right, moving on.
Travel Channel Norway.
Derailed.
The goal of the channel is to help tourists on their Norway journey. The question is, I've introduced channel memberships, but it hasn't taken off, so no one has subscribed. There's only one level at $29, which I guess is £2, where people can watch the new video immediately up to months before it's released. What is your advice on how to promote channel subscriptions without being too annoying? Just let people know, right? Just let people know that it's available. Make sure that you have links in your video description. Make sure that if you're actively trying to grow that, then in that particular case, you want to let people know that it's there, let people know that, it's available. So, part of selling anything is bringing attention to it and letting people know it's there. So, that's why in the live streams, you'll hear me say things about, having stuff in the description. Make sure you check out, in the video description. Once we get to the end of the stream, I'll probably mention something about, hey, before you head out, make sure you hit the video description because I got a bunch of helpful tools for you down there, those types of things. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are spreading awareness about it. So if you're trying to get your memberships up, invite people to join your membership, tell them why. So basically how you do this is you lead with the thing that the viewer would care about the most in terms of whatever benefit it is, and then tell them to join your membership. That's it. Join my membership. I got a link down in the video description. Or if you just want to tell them, a specific URL, you can, but just driving them to your description is fine. And then by spreading that awareness, then for the people that are interested in that, then they can, make the jump from there.
Takeshi's Castle is the name of that show, the Japanese show. Takeshi's Castle.
If you would have been if you wrote that out and everything, I still wouldn't have been able to.
The fine people in the chat today brought that up. So somebody just said, Renegade Garage says, when I ask for members, people say I'm begging.
Here's the thing. When it comes to stuff like that,
those aren't your members. Then.
Yeah. So when it comes to things like this, right? If you're trying to sell stuff in terms of you're bringing attention to things as an affiliate, you're trying to generate channel memberships. You'll have people come at you for running ads on your videos in terms of sponsored stuff, in terms of just having ads play before your videos. You'll have people give you trouble about that. Yeah. If you are making content only for the purpose of connecting with people, then those opinions matter. If you're making content to connect with people who are interested in things that you are interested in, but you're also looking at it as a way that you can make either some extra side money or potentially go full time, or just earn more money from it, then in that particular case, those people that are complaining are not the right people anyway. So it doesn't matter. So if you are providing something and there are people that see it but they are not interested in it, it's fine, right? But when they say that you're begging, then that just means that those people are not, your people, right? Because if so, then they would understand that. Other things too is there are a lot of kids out there and stuff that that will that they don't understand that you have to pay for things. Like when we make videos about apps and stuff like that.
Oh my God!
One of the things that you'll see a lot of kids coming into that content.
Yeah. I'm not paying $1.99 for that app.
Right.
The app does what you want it to do.
Right.
It's $1.99 one-time fee.
Yep. And it's going to save you hours and hours of trying to find ways around whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Well, then good luck trying to figure out a way to do it for yourself.
Right.
For free.
Yep.
I mean, maybe, but you're going to put in the extra work. I'll pay the $1.99. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, because of that, just understand that those people aren't your people anyway. So, if they look at you poorly because you are trying to get something for yourself in exchange for the free content that you're giving them, then in that particular case, they can go watch something else.
So let me expand on that a little bit. So you have your audience, right? Just general people who watch your content, and you have or watch your videos. You have your tribe, right? Your community, the people who are there because they like you, they like what you're doing, they're involved, they're excited about your next video, they hang out in your live streams, right? You got your audience, and then you've got your community. Your community will understand.
Right.
Your community will understand what's going on. The people who are your audience, if they don't understand what you're trying to do, then they're not part of your community, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. And think of it this way: people who are complaining about becoming a member, they're never going to become a member anyway. Right. They're not the people you want as a community, and they're definitely not the people you want to be a member. And also think about, if you're asking someone to be a member, tell them why they should be a member. Keep in mind that sales
lead with value first, what Chantel said there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is all sales. So if you just say, I think consider joining my membership. Well, why should I join your membership? Right. Tell me what I'm going to get. What value am I going to get if I join your membership? Tell them what they're going to get. And if you don't have any value, that's fine. But tell them, if you don't have value, just say, hey, if I'm trying to become a full-time creator. If you can support the channel by becoming a member, that would greatly help me and my family achieve the dream of becoming a full-time creator. Right. Just tell them why they should become a member, whatever that is. Either something that they are going to get or how it can benefit you, because some people just might want to chip in. I have some amazing members still who just support me because they're amazing. Even though I haven't been keeping up on that as I should have, they're just amazing people. Right. And I appreciate you all for that, by the way. You're all appreciated.
Yeah, and Trap House Movement says, I treat my members like my board of investors. My membership fee is very low. They do it just to show a sign of solidarity. Yeah, things like that too. In my case, mine's also low. And the whole reason that I even have channel memberships on my channel is because it creates a separation. Because of the nature of my content, I get a lot of people reaching out to me in DMs and emails and stuff, trying to get me to look at their channels or trying to ask me questions and things like that. And I answer as many as I can. But when it comes to hold on.
I'm
going into
Kathy's here. Stop talking. Stop talking about
Oh,
her.
okay. Yeah. We don't want her to be up to date on all that stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
All right. Next question.
But anyway, yeah. So, but basically, what that is for me is it basically is a thing that kind of helps me prioritize. So, like, okay, today, if I've got just a little bit of time, then where am I going to spend that time? So then I jump into the members area stuff first, and then from there, depending on if there's any questions or anything like that. If not, then I can jump into trying to help somebody else. But they get priority, right? So it's just kind of a way for me to separate and kind of prioritize where time is spent. So. So here, Crojo Corner is our next channel on the list. And by the way, if you are just joining us, we have a form down in the description where you can get your question answered. Chantel drops it in the chat here from time to time as well. So if you do have a question, you can put it into the form and we'll get it answered on the stream today. If you are watching this on Twitter, just so you know, if you go to nickniman.com/ask, then you will see the form there as well. So, Crojo Corner is our next channel here. They do crochet and yarn related crafts. The goal of the channel is to share fun information about crochet and to make an income. And the question is, if you delete a bunch of old relevant videos, does it initially hurt your channel in the way that YouTube pushes out your videos due to the decrease? Will your channel fall lower in the ranks for a while after doing this? So it can. So basically what you want to think about, I just deleted like 1.5 million views from my channel. It was a bunch of live streams and stuff I deleted out. But when it comes to that, when you delete a video from your YouTube channel, according to YouTube, that also deletes the viewer histories of the people that have interacted with that content. So if the only place that people have interacted with your content was that one video that you deleted or within that series of videos that you deleted, then in that particular case, you've kind of broken that connection to them because you deleted that video. However, if somebody's watching those videos and then they also watch some of your other videos and things like that that are still online, then it's not going to have, that type of impact. But yeah, when it comes to that, you can have a correction period, so to speak, to where you are kind of building that audience back up. But one good video, pretty much fixes everything all the time. So because of that, if you are in a period right now where things are like a little bit low, just keep in mind that, one good video can pull you out of any hole that you happen to get into. Let's see here. Lauricia, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Next up, we've got Derek's
Howdy.
Lawn Rescue. What'd you say?
You said hello to her, and I said howdy.
Howdy. He does volunteer lawn care content. The goal of the channel is to make some money so I can help as many people as possible. And the question is, I ended up purchasing a microphone from y'all's recommendation last week, and I love it. Thank you. My question is about the merch shop. I did wear a shirt, hat, and also a cup from the shop in my last video. What are some ways that I can promote the products without being too pushy to my viewers? If it's stuff related to you and your brand, just wearing them in your videos and just letting people know that, that you do have links in the description for anybody that's interested, or just having a quick thing that you say to where something along the lines, maybe towards the end of the video for the people that are engaged there, say something along the lines of, in order to do this, I take my time, out of this and I love doing it. But, as a way that you can support, these efforts that I'm doing for helping, these people with their yards, I do have, merch available where you can get shirts and, hats and, all that stuff. I've got a link to that down in the description if you want to check it out. And then that way you put a little bit of reasoning behind it or in front of it. And then you close them on going down and checking out, the video description from there. So those types of things can be helpful. But the whole idea with bringing attention to anything that you're doing like that with merch or affiliate things or your own products of any kind or whatever is just letting people know. And sometimes in order to let people know, you have to actually say it in the video content itself. So because of that, in your case specifically, if you're trying to bring attention to your merch, just know that once you hit a certain point with your channel, you are going to be able to have the merch shelf directly underneath your videos, which makes that part easy. But in the meantime, just letting people know that you do have that available down there and saying in your video that it helps, as long as that's what you're using it for, right? That it helps you be able to, help more people, then that gives, people more of a reason to get the merch, because then it's not just about having something with your logo on it. It's like supporting the good deeds that you are doing by you going and doing volunteer yard work for people. So yeah, I would definitely, mention those types of things. Roger Wakefield in the house.
Hey,
what's going on, dude? Hope
Roger.
you're doing great.
How you doing, man?
Let's see here. So next up, we've got K Skis. K Skis does anime games. The goal of the channel is to make videos. The question is, so a few weeks ago, I passed 100 subscribers, so I want to say thanks for your advice. Now, for my question, what are some not as expensive microphones that I can use for my videos, since I've been told that my video is lacking and not, or my audio is lacking and not as good? So when it comes to what's going on, Renee? Hope you're doing awesome, man. Says, hey, Nick D didn't get left at Starbucks again. No, not this time. I brought him with me today. Maybe next time, though. Maybe next time. But when it comes to microphones that are not expensive, the Boya BYM1, and we don't have any relationship with them, you know, in any capacity. But the Boya BYM1 is like $20. All
of the Boya microphones are affordable. Mm-hmm. There's another company called Ceramonic.
Ceramonic, I think.
Ceramonic.
Yeah.
They're also very affordable. Basically, they make kind of knockoff versions of popular microphones from Shure and Rode. Mm-hmm. They sound pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a discount microphone, but they sound really good. The lavalier microphone, the BYM1 is fantastic. Mm-hmm. The problem is there are a lot of fakes that have been made. So when I can't speak for Ceramonic, whatever they're called.
However you say it.
Yeah, but Boya, they have a authenticity sticker that comes on the box where you have to scan a QR code to make sure that it's a valid product. Make sure you do that, and I would be very careful buying anything off of an online service unless it comes directly off of the Boya website. I don't know if they do direct sales or not, but if you're just buying something off of Amazon or just random stuff, you could end up with a fake. So
unless you get it from the Boya store.
Yeah, so it's just something to be aware of, that there are a lot of fakes out there. But in terms of affordable, good-sounding microphones, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
for what it is.
Yeah, for what it is. Yeah.
It's surprising how good of a difference just getting a microphone closer to your mouth can make. Like even if it's not a, you know, high quality microphone, just getting, you know, the microphone from being on your phone or on your camera over here to bringing it up close like this, the difference that by itself makes, even if it's not a super high, you know, quality microphone with like a large dynamic range, it can still make massive improvements to your audio signal. And really, at the end of the day, you know, tons of people are watching on their mobile devices, and all you got to do is make sure that your audio is clear enough and loud enough that people can, you know, easily understand what it is that you're saying.
I don't know if you have an iPhone or not, but the newer iPhones and the operating systems, they have a settings in the app for a voice isolation. You can just use it. It doesn't sound that bad. You can use the earbuds that come with a mic, the cabled version that's got the little microphone, put it on voice isolation. It actually doesn't sound that bad. The key to audio, if you're recording yourself speaking, is recording yourself in a quiet environment. And you can take a microphone that's not very expensive or technically not even that good, as long as the microphone itself doesn't make noise and the cable doesn't make noise, and as long as you don't have a noisy room, it sounds relatively good. And if you learn, I don't know what your skills are in terms of what you can do with your computer or your phone, but there are apps and there's software where you can EQ that audio, or you can put it into podcast.adobe.com. There are apps and services where it will take your audio that sounds fairly bad and clean it up, make it sound better. Yep. Or you can EQ it, make it sound better yourself, add some compression and a limiter, etc. And you can take a microphone that sounds relatively cheap and might not even be that good and make it sound pretty good. So, I mean, it's a deep rabbit hole to go down, but I mean, just podcast.adobe.com by itself will take an inexpensive mic. I saw videos, examples. I should make a video out of this myself, where people will speak directly into their phone. They just speak into their phone and they put it in Adobe, and it cleans it up, and it almost sounds like we sound right now.
So there's some other tools that have come out. I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head, but there's some other tools that have come out too that are competing with Adobe Enhance. Same exact thing. People are using like blow dryers right next to the microphone and stuff, and it just isolates the voice and everything comes out sounding like they're talking into like a real microphone.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Very soon people aren't going to have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, AI is doing wonders right now in terms of cleaning up audio signals, etc.
Yeah.
And I see Coastal Diva says, I speak with a pillow in front of me. Yeah, so here's the thing. If you are in a room and you have lots of furniture, curtains on the walls, pillows, a bed, laundry on the floor if you have tile floors or hardwood floors, etc., the more soft things you have in the room, the better your audio is going to sound. If all you have are you've got hardwood floors or tile walls, you have walls with no curtains on them, nothing to break up the sound, the audio is going to echo all over the place. If you walk in a room, some rooms, you clap your hand, you hear the echo. The more things you put in a room, it breaks up that audio signal, the audio waves that are traveling around, and it kills all that sound to get rid of the echo. You can, if you're doing voiceover work, you can do it in a closet. You can do it under a blanket. You can do it with pillows surrounding you. Yeah, you can get down on your knees and speak into your sofa. There's all kinds of different things you can do to isolate the sound to make it sound better than it actually does.
And then there's the software solutions. Like you were talking about earlier. Rode Reality here says Waves Clarity VX is also good. It cleans up their audio. I know Final Cut Pro has some audio stuff built in. Camtasia has some audio stuff built in. Premiere has some audio stuff built in. Does CapCut?
It does, but you have to pay for it.
Oh, okay. So CapCut has some stuff built in because you got to pay for all the other ones
and
too.
I'm really upset with the CapCut. So I've been making some. Yeah, so this is
waiting for some negativity today. Here we go, D.
I made a couple of CapCut videos, and they're doing relatively well on my channel. And I'm really focusing on new creators, so I'm focusing on the free features. So I made a couple of more videos, and every feature I made a video about, they turned it paid.
Oh, wow.
Every one of them.
Okay, well, looks like you got to make some videos on some paid stuff too then.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, CapCut's good. So somebody mentioned a pop filter on a phone. So here's the thing. This pop filter, you might hear some noise. So this goes over a microphone, and this reduces some of the plosives, the heavy P's and stuff like that, right? So it can go over a microphone. If you have a phone and you're doing audio work, you can actually...
These have them built in too, by the way.
Right. So I'm kind of doubling this up because I have a problem with plosives, which means I have bad microphone technique. It's really what it comes down to.
Shame on you.
I know. But one thing you can do is you can order an inexpensive, large pop or a large piece of foam like this to go over a microphone, and you can slide it over your phone figure out where your microphone is on your phone.
That's pretty clever.
And then put it over your phone, and then when you're doing audio work, this will cut out some of the plosives.
That's super clever.
And then if you're outside and you're just doing audio work only, maybe voiceover work, the same thing. This will help it won't get rid of all of the wind, but it can help get rid of a lot of wind when you do it this way. So something to think about if you're doing it with your phone, you can clean up those plosives a lot just by doing that.
Does somebody make
cost like $1?
Yeah, does somebody make those for phones, I wonder? Like dedicated phone ones to where it's more of a square shape that you slide into instead of it being a curve? If so,
probably.
Yeah, if so, then you could really kind of clean that out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I'm sure.
Jerry says you only sound as bad as me unscrewing the live mic. Yeah, because I just screwed this off while you were
did you
talking.
really?
Yeah, it's like yeah, Audacity is good too. So Audacity is a free tool that you can also use for that sort of thing. Tom Nash, what's going on, dude? Hope that you're doing great.
What's up, Tom? Audacity just had some major updates. Audacity has some major updates, and if you are an audio producer and you already have VST files or AU files, etc., you can now connect those to Audacity. So you can have Audacity and you can run it through Isotope, or you can run it through different EQs and stuff like that. Isotope's free.
Yeah.
So
Tom Nash Report says, pay attention to what Nick says. He helped me get my act together when I had 150 views per video and 800 subs. Last month, I hit 18,000 new subscribers and 2 million views and made $40,000. So nice work, Tom. Tips only get you so far. You're crushing it, man. You've had the intention since you started all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're the one putting in all the work and doing all the thing, man. You're absolutely crushing, man. It's awesome seeing you have the success that you're having. Absolutely love it.
So the crazy thing about this, so we have Tom Nash, who's a perfect example of this. We also have Professor Nez. Professor Nez ended up pivoting on his main channel and has had just wild success. I don't know where he's at now. He's probably at 400 or 500,000 subs.
Yeah. He's
but Tom Nash, he put in the work. He's went through it and
walked through the fire.
He baptized himself in the fiery crucible of YouTube.
Yep.
Is what he did.
That's even better than what I say.
Of course it is.
Can I adopt that? Do you mind?
Of course he did.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's done some pivoting. He even went through the YouTube education space, but he found his groove, and he does excellent political commentary.
Yep.
He's fantastic, and he's broken off into a second channel. So it's awesome to see it's awesome to watch people find their groove.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is.
You see people coming in and you're like, yeah, that person's they've got charisma, they've got on-camera personality, and then they're trying some stuff and you're like, yeah, maybe. And then they find their groove and you're like, there it is.
Yep.
There it is. That's it. That's what they were born to do right there.
Yep.
I mean, technically not born to do, but like that's on
Yeah.
you. There you go. That's it. That's your jam right there. So I love it, dude. So I love seeing that.
Yep. So Pipe Philosophy, thank you for the super chat. Super appreciate it. So let's see here. So next up on our list, and by the way, if you are just joining us, I've got a form down in the description where you can put your questions, or you can just go to nickniman.com/ask. That's going to redirect you to the form. It's a Google form, and basically all the form is I just ask you some details about your channel, your goals for the channel, and what your question is. And I ask for the goals so that I can just have a good understanding of what it is that you're doing. I ask for how long you've been on YouTube so that I can know just kind of, like, okay, what might they know? What might they not know that I might not know that I need to make sure that I say, that kind of stuff. So if you do have any questions, make sure that you do put your question in the form. It is free to put your question down there. So, make sure that you do that if you do have any YouTube related questions.
Tom Nash coming in.
Thanks for the super chat, man. Super appreciate it.
Coffee donation. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Somebody just said here in the chat. So Tracy's Talk. Tracy's Talk says, I film with my iPhone and I feel like my content is lacking. Okay. I want to explain something to you that you don't want to hear.
Uh-oh.
The phone is not your problem. The problem is, at this stage in your creator journey, you lack the skills currently to understand how to shoot content that doesn't lack whatever it is that you're looking for. I could send you every camera we have in here, and though it might technically look a little bit better in terms of the sharpness and maybe the depth of field, some blurry backgrounds, the skill level that you have right now today, it's not going to be that much better than what you're making with your phone. It might look a little bit better, but in terms of lacking, that's where your skills have to come in. And the good news is we all started in the same place that you're in. We all struggled to learn how to make content. Every single full-time creator, every single person in this chat, your favorite YouTubers, Mr. Beast, Marquez Brad, every single person. We all started in the same place that you're at right now, and that's trying to learn the skills. And it sucks. It's painful. It's exhausting. It can be demotivating. And we think that it might be the microphone, or it could, I mean, in some cases it could be, right? It could, it technically could be that you just have bad lighting or you have an old phone, etc. But 99% of the time, the problems come from our lack of skills. You can change that by learning, spending a lot of time on YouTube, watching tutorials on how to set things up right. Watch cinematic YouTube channels where they teach you about all sorts of different shots and how to tell stories. Learn about editing, learn how to light your set, learn how to use light, learn how to use proper settings in your phone camera. Like it takes time. It takes time. And when you put in the work, you watch the videos, and don't just watch them and then try to implement what you've learned. And over time, we might be having this conversation next year, and you might be saying like, yeah, I put in a ton of work and now my videos look exactly how I want them to look. Right. I've learned how to tell a story. I've learned how to keep the viewer's attention. I've learned how to edit so where I enjoy watching it back as a viewer, right? It's a skill set. But you got this. We've all been in the exact same spot that you're in right now.
Tom mentions, he says, in my niche, there's a guy who gets millions of views doing finance news from his car on his phone during his lunch break from his construction job. He said, D's on point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just skill. That's all it is. But you've got this. You've got this. Like, everyone in here, think about it this way. Forget YouTube, forget the camera. Just think about anything else that you've learned in your life that you've learned to a point to where you feel like you might be good at it. It could be a sport. It could be just that maybe you paint or you crochet. Maybe you are good at making things with your hand. Whatever it is. Maybe you've learned how to make an amazing pizza. Yeah, maybe you're an excellent cook, a baker. Maybe you've learned a second language. Whatever it is. Everyone in here has learned something to a degree where they feel like they're competent at that thing. You know how much time and effort went into learning that thing, whatever that thing is. YouTube is no different. Learning your camera is no different. Learning how to tell a story or make a YouTube video or edit the video. Learning how to make a thumbnail, choose the right topics, choose the right type. It's no different. Put the effort in and you'll get there. Just keep going. I promise you'll get there if you keep going and keep learning. Tom, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And VSS Tips and Tricks says, appreciate both of you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Tom, thanks for sharing the stream in your community feed. Hey, thanks, super appreciated there as well. Always appreciate shares. So next up on our list here. Tracy says, thank you guys. You definitely made me feel better.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Embracing that learning curve side of it. It's so easy on YouTube, not to kind of keep hammering that horse, but like it's so easy because you see all these videos with all these numbers on them. And it's so easy to see the numbers and think to yourself like, oh, all the bad things that you think, at those moments in time. And it's really easy to get discouraged, right? Because there's just so much stuff happening on YouTube. And, when you're comparing yourself to that stuff, it kind of just, it's discouraging. So, when you embrace like, okay, this is where I'm at in the learning curve and what I'm doing right now, I know that I'm, working on it and I know that I'm going to get better, but this is like where I'm at right now. And I'm just going to work on making this next video better. That removes all of that stuff, right? It removes all of those things from your head because then your goal changes from like, okay, I need to, publish my next video and it needs to be as, get the same response as this other person. It removes that and makes it like, okay, I'm just trying to publish this next video and trying to make this video as good as I can for the people that are actually going to enjoy this content. Just that mind shift can make a big difference because that discouragement causes a lot of people to quit because they think they need to hit these certain marks that these other people are hitting when they're just not, they haven't prepped themselves up yet to even hit those marks. So because of that, it's really important to make sure that you are just embracing, where you're at the moment.
Anyone who's struggling right now, and Tracy, this is for you too. Even if you don't like them as a creator, even if you don't subscribe to them, here's what I want you to do when this stream is over. Excuse me. Go look at Mr. Beast and go look at Marquez Brownlee. And I want you to go to their videos tab and I want you to sort the videos by oldest. Sort the videos by oldest and look at where they started. Those two channels have documented the entire process of where they started all the way up to where they are now. And I want you to look at that progress and see the transformation that they went through, starting out where their videos absolutely sucked.
Yeah.
They absolutely sucked. But they kept going, and over time they get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And now Mr. Beast is the largest creator on the platform, and Marquez Brownlee is 19 million subscribers, and is essentially the biggest or one of the biggest tech channels out there. He meets with Bill Gates and the head of Apple, or what's his name? Whatever the Apple's guy.
Tim Cook. Yeah.
Tim Apple.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? But they started where everyone else started. And it's just, I love that they left those old videos on their channel. Yeah. Because it shows how bad they sucked.
It does.
And they're amazing now. So just go watch
Tom
those.
is coming to Thailand on Tuesday, but he's only going to be down south. Man, I was hoping that you were going to come up here as well, but it's all good. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, I'll be
enjoy your trip, man. Like enjoy your trip. You're gonna have a great time. What were you gonna say? Are you going down south?
Well, Tom, next week, the first week of August, I'll be in Malaysia. So if by chance you are traveling through Kuala Lumpur, shoot me a message. I'll be there just for a couple days. Otherwise, I'm going to make sure you don't get into this country. Immigration will be waiting for you, Mr. Nash.
Oh, I love it. So the next channel here is Log Hoppers. Log Hoppers uploads 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than a month. They have an outdoors blog lifestyle channel. The goal of the channel is to live the dream. The question is how to generate new ideas and stay consistent, but also keep people hooked. Is it being confident, sound, visual, etc.? It's all of it. So at the core of everything, it's more about understanding who it is that you're making content for and what it is that they care about and how you can put something in front of them that they are likely to care about. And then once they say like, hey, this is something I'm interested in, they click in it, they come into the actual content itself, and they get out of that video what they were expecting to get out of that video. When you get good at that, then you won't ever have to worry about views. You'll get, enough views to be able to sustain whatever it is that you're doing. If you just focus on the viewers and you focus on making sure that that every video that you publish is adding some type of, value to them or adding something to them. So the thing that that is good to experiment with is like, okay, if I'm going to make a video, when you're coming up with your video idea, thinking about it through the lens, like, okay, this is a video that I want to make, and I think this is going to be good for my channel, but what is the viewer going to get out of this, right? And defining exactly what it is that the viewer is going to get out of it. So in your case, you're on outdoors, blogs, or vlogs and lifestyle stuff. So in your particular case, it's like, okay, if somebody comes in and watches my vlog, that's great. They're watching me, but what are they going to leave with? Are they going to, be entertained for it? Is it going to help them, kind of change their, if they kind of, were having a bad day, is it going to kind of help lift them up from there? Are they going to be motivated by the time it's finished? Am I going to inspire them to want to get outside and shut off their computer and go outside? outside. Like, what exactly is the viewer going to get out of what it is that I'm making? And when you focus on that, then, then it makes it a lot easier for everything else to happen. But in terms of generating new ideas and staying consistent, the new idea part, that also comes from just understanding your audience and what it is that you think they would be interested in. You're doing content about outdoors and lifestyles. It's endless in terms of the things that you can make content about because of exactly what it is that you're doing, right? So you can make videos about anything. What I would do in your case is, if I was going to go to like a park, right? Let's say that you're doing outdoor stuff and you're going to go out to a park. Then in that particular case, I would hop into YouTube search and I would do, just some quick research to figure out like, okay, what types of things are people interested in knowing about from, parks, or just outdoors related things. And I would start marking all those things down and then be like, oh, this would be a good fit for what it is that I'm doing. I'm not saying necessarily to optimize for search. What I'm saying is that you use that to inform yourself about the things that people are interested in around the type of things that you make. And then when you qualify it there and then you go out and make the content, you already know before you even leave the house, this is what I'm going to be making the video or videos about. So because of that, I need to make sure that I'm framing them in this way. I need to make sure I'm getting the right shots for my thumbnail. I need to make sure that, when the viewer comes into the video, that I'm saying these specific things, because it's based around this idea that I have and the way I'm going to present this video. And then you start taking that particular approach. But in terms of keeping people hooked, same exact thing. It comes down to making content about things that your target audience cares about. And if you do that, then in that particular case, you don't have to try to trick people and, things like that with your hook. You'd need to just, start your video, get them into the content. And then from there, that by itself is going to do the thing. Now, of course, hooks do have their place because, when you set it up, the setup is essentially your hook. You're basically, what you're doing there is you're designing the introduction of the experience that you're getting ready to give people. So a hook isn't necessarily about convincing somebody or tricking somebody into watching the video. The hook is about like, okay, I'm setting up the video in a way that will make it seem interesting to people, or at least let the people know that they're going to be getting a very specific value out of this video. And then I'm going to, usher them into the video from there. Let's see here. So D once told Tom something that he'll never forget. YouTube pulls videos.
That's not supposed to be made public, Tom.
Yep. He says YouTube pulls videos. It doesn't push content. If you fit to someone's interest, YouTube will pull your video and put it on their home screen. Yep. Absolutely.
They don't push.
They pull.
They pull.
BJ Jones, member for 4 months, says, watching the brothers makes my week every time. You get your weekly motivation, laughs, and off-topic things we didn't know we needed. Appreciate you both. Thank you so much for the kind words. Appreciate it. We also had a
highlight of my week coming in here and streaming.
You what?
It's a highlight of my week.
Yeah, me too.
Coming in, getting to stream with my little brother.
Mm-hmm. And Tan going in the kitchen. Welcome to the Niminati. So when you get the opportunity, if you haven't yet, make sure you go to niminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members only area. That's going to redirect you to our members only Facebook. So when you go there, I'm going to set up a website for this to make it easier. But basically, when you go to that Facebook group, make sure you fill out all the information on the way in so I can verify that you're a member, when you go in there. And we also have a Discord. So if you are a Discord user, then you can also, get that stuff as well.
I gotta play the audio.
Welcome to the Niminati.
Let's see here. So next up on our list.
Hey, Daniel. I need to send you a message later.
Daniel says this comment brought to you by Nick Nimmons Creator Keyboard. Yeah. Shh. Shh.
I gotta send you a message a little bit later, Daniel.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Patel? Nice to see you in here as usual.
Hey, really quick, I'm wanting to just get some information. If you have a iPhone or not, please answer the poll at the top of the screen. I'm just collecting some information here for later use because I'm trying to figure out. I'm working on something right now for iPhone users, so I'm just trying to get a general gauge of if you guys are using iPhones or not. So let's see here. So next up on the list, we've got Fat Mouth Sports. Oh, Daniel, I'll be pushing an update probably tomorrow too. Like it's like way better now. So yeah, I'll be pushing an update probably tomorrow morning local time when I'm supposed to be chilling and not doing anything because it's my day off. So Fat Mouth Sports, they upload one time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do comedic take on sports content. The goal of the channel is to spread sports history using comedy as a vehicle. Lead with love when the truth hurts. Nice. I like that. The question is, how do I grow my channel while live streaming on Tuesday and Thursday? Great question. So when it comes to live streaming, what you want to make sure that you are thinking about is that live streams, they hold multiple values. So one of the values is, of course, while it's actually live and the live experience for that content. So for the people that care about that, they can participate live. You can grow a live viewership audience that maybe doesn't watch your regular video content, or maybe they watch your regular video content sometimes, but then they always come to your live streams, that kind of stuff. So it gives you the opportunity to create like a whole other audience in addition to what it is that you get on the video side and the shorts side as well, and maybe even the podcast side. So all of those things are beneficial there. When it comes to growing your channel using live streams, what you want to think about is, first, remember that live streams you don't have to live stream for any certain amount of time. A lot of people think that, hey, if I'm going to be live streaming, it has to be for 30 minutes or it has to be for an hour or X amount of hours or whatever. It doesn't. Your live streams just need to be long enough to get out the information that the people that are interested in what it is that you're doing care about. That's it. So because of that, when it comes to growing your channel using your live streams, you can do it with long streams, you can do it with short streams, you can do it with everything in between. But the thing that you want to think about is like, okay, while I'm live, that's going to be that value that I'm giving there. But this live stream is going to live on YouTube indefinitely. And if I can structure this live stream in a way that people coming into it on the replay experience while I'm not live, after the live is complete, if they can still enjoy it, then essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating a piece of content for YouTube that is just like a piece of video content, but I'm just doing it live instead. And then when you take that approach, you start doing things differently. So for example, I'm going to pull up another little branding kit here inside of my StreamYard so I can show you this. But basically, when it comes to getting the most out of your live streams, here is what I recommend. And I think that I have it in here. Yeah. So this right here is what you want to think about when it comes to your live streams. So at the very beginning of this graph right here, you see the hook for viewers, the shout out, for the live viewers, the shout outs, any banter that you have, any type of catch ups that you have. Like you see when we start these streams, these aren't designed for growth. These are more, these streams are more for hanging out with the community of people that are already interacting with the content. But the thing that you want to think about is, if I am doing these longer live streams where I have all this like live streamy stuff, for the replay viewer, those things don't matter to those people because they missed all of that, right? So because of that, what you want to do is you want to have a cut point, and at that cut point, you'll see there in the yellow, it says reset, okay? So basically the idea there is that you get through all of the live streamy hangout, hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you had a great week, all that stuff. Where you're watching from, all those questions that people ask. And then after that, you have a reset. And what the reset looks like is you say, oh, hey, and if you're just joining us, today we're talking about blah, 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 right? Or today I'm going to be showing you this. Or today we're taking this, trip to here and we're bringing you along with us, whatever the thing is. Whatever your hook is for the replay viewers, what you're going to say there. And then what it ends up looking like is you go into YouTube's editor after your live stream is complete. And when you do this, you are going to lose your live stream replay for the chat. So you're going to lose that when you do what I'm getting ready to tell you. So just be aware of that. But it makes it feel more like a video as well, which is what you want. So what you do is at this cut point, you cut off all of that stuff at the beginning, all that hangout stuff, all of the shout outs, all of those types of things. So then when the viewer comes into the content, because you cut the edit, right at that point where you say, hey, if you're just joining us, and you pause for just a second and you say, today we're talking about, or whatever hook that you put there, that is the part that the replay viewer is going to see. So when they come into the live stream, their experience is going to be just like if they were watching a regular video. Today we're talking about blah, blah, blah.
Let's walk through one.
What do you mean?
Let's say that you're doing the live stream. Let's do one. And then why don't you actually just walk them through what that might.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I know, but do it like you're actually doing it and then just stop.
Okay. Yeah. So,
and you got a topic? Okay.
Yeah, just go.
Okay.
Just
and
tell me when.
We are live.
Oh, so we're starting the whole thing like it's a brand new live stream?
Yeah, just come in, do your hook, and then pause like you're gonna, and then we cut.
So am I doing it like the live stream version, or am I just starting at the replay point?
The live stream version.
Okay.
Then pause.
Okay.
And then
Got
say,
it. Okay.
this is where you cut.
Okay.
Then continue.
Okay. Got it. Go.
That's right. Right.
Yep. Okay.
3.
So what is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing fantastic.
No.
Okay,
I got to count down.
Okay.
We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. All right. Go.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
What is going on? I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Today, we are going to be talking about whatever the subject matter is. In this particular case, it's going to be something about YouTube. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. I'm sitting here with D right now, and, we're going to have a great stream today. So really quick in the chat, let me know if you are hanging out here. If you happen to get here early, let me know where it is that you're watching from. Just curious to see, kind of where everybody is coming from there. And then we'd keep going on with that for a little bit, right? And then while we were just reading off some of those comments that people were saying and things like that, then I would keep going and I would be like, oh, hey, let me just see, just for fun.
What's going on, Troy White? Good to see you in here. You guys are the best.
Yep.
Calling out people in the chat, welcoming them as they come in.
Yep. Chatty Kathy, what's going on? Nice to see you here. Monique, hey, it's great to see you here in the chat as well. And hey, by the way, if you are just joining us, today, I'm going to show you how to grow your YouTube channel, and we're going to be talking about all the different things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to growing your YouTube channel, okay? So right there when I said, and if you're just joining us, and then I paused for a second, and then I said the thing, in that particular case, you would cut it right after I said, if you're just joining us. So then when the replay viewer comes in, what they would have heard in that particular situation is, today, I'm going to be showing you how to grow your YouTube channel. That's what the replay viewer sees. So then in that particular case, as they're coming in, they don't see or hear any of that stuff that doesn't matter to them. They come in and they only see that hook that you designed for that viewer that, would care about whatever it is that you're doing in your specific content.
If you're just joining us.
Yep.
Right? If you're just joining us.
And it doesn't have to be a long pause. Right. Chantel said I didn't hear a pause. So it doesn't have to be a long pause. It just has to be long enough that you can go in there and cut it with the YouTube editor.
Mini pause. And I'll say this too. Don't be afraid to pause.
Yeah.
Pauses can be really powerful when it comes to communication. Yep. So you can actually put a pause in. Today, if you're just joining us, today we're going to talk about how to grow your YouTube channel. Yep. You can put those pauses in, and you're going to cut on that pause, however long you make that pause. So when the replay comes in, somebody hits play. Today we're talking about growing your YouTube channel.
Right.
Yep. You got to think it through. You're going to have to do some trial and error, but it will allow you to repurpose that live stream and turn it into a video that has value from the beginning, where you cut out all the live stream intro nonsense where a lot of people are not going to be interested in at the beginning.
Yep. Vierica, what's going on? Hope you are doing fantastic. Welcome
John in Cambodia, how you doing? John the Traveler.
Yeah, so the whole idea there, though, just to kind of finalize that thing, is when you are trying to grow your live streams, or you're trying to grow your channel with live streams, first make sure that you are talking about things that are just popular in nature, in terms of like a lot of people would be interested in it. So if that content gets recommended on somebody's homepage, they're likely to come in because the largest amount of people within the niche that you're operating in, the largest amount of people within that niche would care about the content. And then when it comes to your cut point, make sure that you do that, with your reset. And then at the end of the video, you're going to see where I have handoff there in the yellow. So the idea here is you want to do the same exact thing that we always recommend that you do in the videos, where you try to recommend the next step for somebody to take when your video comes to an end. So to get the most out of this for the viewer and for yourself, the idea here is that you lead people into another piece of content that would be relevant to them based on what it is that they actually came in and just experienced. So for example, in your case, since you're doing outdoor content, if you're talking about something related to camping, then in that particular case, at the end of your live stream, before you end it, instead of saying things like, hey, I hope everybody has a great week and blah, blah, like we do here, what you want to do is once you're done with the content, then in that particular case, you can have an end to where you do that kind of stuff. But before you do that, because you're going to cut this off at the end, and YouTube's editor too, before you do all that stuff, you want to just get it to the end of the content and then do the handoff to the other video. So, hey, if you enjoyed this and you want, more, information about camping or more camping tips or, whatever it is that you're sharing with people, then, I got a playlist right here that you can click into that's just filled with that type of content. Go ahead and click into that now, and I'll see you in the next video. And then you say all the ending stuff with your viewers. Be like, okay, thanks everybody for hanging out, blah, blah, and then anything else that you want to do. You can even add additional hangout stuff there if you want. But the idea is that you have a very clear intro point to the content, and you have a very clear outro point. And the outro point is handing somebody off to another piece of content in your channel that they can, go and watch if they enjoyed that piece of content that you just published, which they did because they made it all the way to the end. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are doing, those sorts of things if you're trying to grow, as a live streamer. And of course, writing trends is also a big deal too. So depending on, the topics that somebody's talking about, some people can, do amazing on trends also. Like Emily Baker is a great example of this. Like in her particular case, she, just blew her channel, just blew the doors off of her channel from covering the Johnny Depp trial. She was already doing great, already picking up momentum, but because the Johnny Depp trial, it really just kind of shot her into like a whole other reality when it comes to, how well her, channel, has done from there. In addition to that, you have people like we talked about before, like Professor Nez, who has hopped on the whole like election cycle thing. And in his particular case, it's all stuff that everybody's like thinking about right now. And he's making, all this content that kind of triggers that particular audience. And they come in and they respond to it. And, and he's able to just blow up his YouTube channel right now, based around that stuff as well. So, you can do a lot with live streams if you're, very intentional about your approach. You have other things too, like for example, Dr. Disrespect and like his whole, crew.
Boy, he got canceled.
Yeah, if you take away, him getting canceled, he's a really good entertainer. So with his live streams, he was able to, grow because he's just like an A-level entertainer. And along with that, he's also like really good at the games he plays and like that kind of stuff. And, that helped him grow. So, so you can absolutely do it with live streams. You just have to be very, strategic about the approach that you take.
You got a super chat?
Hudson Valley Soapry, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Glad that you are enjoying the content.
Yeah, I see a lot of people in the chat talking about they have problems with things that they say, like okay or ums or ahs. We all have the things that we know are problematic when we speak. The best thing you can do is make a video or do a live stream, review it, and start to take notes and say, okay, wow, I really say that a lot. I say that too much. I had too many ums. I had too many ahs. One thing that helped me with the ums and the ahs, and I still do them, but one thing that helped was learning how to pause. We talked about pausing earlier. By pausing.
That's typically the general advice anyway. For getting past that is basically replacing those with pauses and getting comfortable with that silence.
Yes. Yeah. I went through that, just learning how to pause for most of those where I might normally say ums and ahs. So the one thing that I've been trying to get rid of during live streams when I'm streaming by myself is I'll say something and I'll say right. Like I'll say something and as if I'm trying to get confirmation they understand, or I'll say right. You do it like this and right. I do that a lot. So audit what you do and then take notes. And then as you're doing it, you go, oh, I just said it again. I just said it again. And then burn yourself with a cigarette. No.
Not really. Yeah. Yeah, I go in cycles.
Burns all over the arm.
Where sometimes I'm better than other times. Sometimes I'm like a umatic. To where I'm just sitting here just spitting out every other word is like an
yeah.
But then, I'll be mindful about it for a while and they'll get massively reduced and then I'll stop paying attention to it and then they'll kind of creep back in over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just did an there as a part of that. Now it's going to keep popping up and I'm going to keep thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's difficult. It's really difficult to communicate, especially live.
Yeah.
When it comes to video, you can edit that stuff out.
Yeah.
You can
Retakes, whatever.
Yeah, retakes, edit that out. But when it comes to speaking live, there's just something where our brains go crazy. It's an overdrive, right? It's the rubbing the belly, tapping the head.
Yep.
You're running the gear. You're typing in the chat. You're looking at the chat. You're reading the chat. You're communicating. You're doing all the stuff. You're looking at the view counts. You're making sure you're online. You're wondering why the internet's giving you a flash of a low connectivity. You're doing all of these things. And it's easy.
Is our internet low right now?
No.
Oh.
No, but I check it because it does pop up sometimes.
I know.
Those are things that you're doing when you're live. On top of everything else, maybe you're waiting for a message from Daniel Battelle to be sent to you because you sent him a message and they haven't replied back and it was kind of important.
Yeah. And you're like, hey, I just saw you on the internet. How are you not seeing my message?
I know you're
like
on your phone right now, but you're not looking at my message.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of different things that you could be doing. So it's easy to say the ums and the ahs and the likes and the okays and all of those things. But just audit what you're doing.
Yeah.
And another problem that I have, and this is really hard, is learning how not to ramble.
You mean kind of like you're doing right now?
Right.
Okay.
Answering something as quickly as possible, condensing a lot of information into something that's not so time-consuming.
Yeah.
But still has the same impact and same meaning. That's really difficult.
It is.
That's something I struggle with all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Einstein that said that if you can't explain something simply, then you don't really understand it, which I thought was an interesting thing. But like sometimes,
If you say it again,
it's something along the lines. I think it was him. Something along the lines of if you can't if you can't explain something simply, then you don't really understand it.
I don't know if I mean. First of all, who is he?
Yeah, right. Like who's he to say?
First of all,
what is he? Some kind of like super genius or something?
First of all, what does Einstein know? Secondly, Einstein has not had to deal with people on the internet. If he were alive today with a YouTube channel and he had to answer comments all the time, he would be like, I totally take that back.
Yeah.
I totally take that back. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Brian? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. No, have not seen Nas Daly's 1 minute videos.
No. It's insane how much you put in. No, I'll check it out though.
Yeah, I'll ramble sometimes. Like sometimes I'm really good at being short. Sometimes I'll ramble intentionally longer. Like if we don't have as many questions, then I'll spend more time on the questions, stuff like that. So it just kind of depends on what's going on. But
I just had, and I shared this with you. So I make a video, one of my recent videos, how to do something on CapCut.
Okay.
And I had more than one person leave a comment. They were upset that I didn't tell them to first download CapCut.
That's the world we're living in right now.
And when you think about how can I shorten this to give them the information as much as possible. Listen,
hey, Daniel's in here too. He says howdy.
Oh, howdy.
Yeah, he's back in here.
Listen, if you don't have it on your phone or your computer, you have to download it.
Yeah.
This is why Einstein didn't know what he was talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Step one.
Yep. Be like, hey, I explained it as simply as humanly possible. This person just didn't understand. You have to download it first.
But think about this from your perspective. If you clicked on the video, how to use CapCut to do something.
You probably have it already.
You probably have CapCut, or at least you're under the impression that you're going to have to get CapCut or whatever the app is.
Jared Hoff says if Einstein had a podcast. I'm surprised with AI that people haven't started making podcasts like that yet. To where people haven't started doing like, okay, let's make like an Einstein voice and then frame the whole thing around Einstein, just like talk about, anything they find documented of him saying,
Nos
and
Daily.
things like
I'm
that.
gonna look that up. Nos Daily.
But really quick, thanks for the super chat. Build and Fix with Mooney says, hey, Nick and D, what's going on?
Hey,
says, I'm grinding, doing the thing as you referred to. I'm trying all different intro techniques and getting better with my editing. And I finally set myself a goal to reach 100,000 subs. Thoughts? I think it's great. When you are actively, trying to reach a goal, it can, kind of generate something inside of yourself in terms of, just adding a little bit more effort to stuff, having a little bit more intention behind what it is that you're doing. Maybe that moment where you're like, okay, I think this video, could use a little bit more, but I'm just going to go ahead and, put it out anyway. Like, the difference when you have goals like that you're going after is like, okay, I could put it out, but really I know that I can make this better and that they'll get more value out of it if I do it this way, those types of things. So in my opinion, when you do have goals like that, it definitely can help, just kind of, keep you going and motivate you, because then you have, something that you're trying to accomplish from it. So yeah, I think that's a good move.
Here's the crazy thing. YouTube being YouTube, how it kind of keeps us in a bubble sometimes. I've never heard of Nos Daily until today.
Really?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Nope. I just looked up the channel.
Huge for a really long time.
Just looked up the channel. I've never seen his channel. I've never heard the name. YouTube has never recommended a single video to me. You didn't know who Johnny Harris. You didn't know who Johnny Harris was.
Right. Yeah, he's huge on YouTube. He's huge on TikTok. He's huge everywhere he is. The first time I went to Armenia, he had just been there and had just done some like big thing in Yerevan when I went to Armenia the first time.
Okay.
So yeah, and he was already, I think he was already over like 1 million subscribers on YouTube at that moment in time. So yeah, he's been crushing for quite some time.
That's crazy.
Yep. Animal Experts, glad that you're enjoying the content. Let's see here. And Vierica says, hey, D, maybe missed opportunity there to send them to your link if it's affiliated, maybe.
For what?
That might be on the microphone stuff, possibly. Yeah,
For what?
They might be watching on a delay.
Oh.
Yeah, that might be the microphone-related stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gotten like $3 there, I guess.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But it's more important that you just get the microphone.
Right. Make your stuff better.
I would appreciate the affiliate sales, but I didn't put them in here. But I would just rather you get a good microphone.
Yeah.
So next time I'm going to start putting my links in here.
Yeah.
Like, listen, you're going to get the Boya BYM one. It's a great lavalier microphone. Go to dniman.com/Boya. You get it. Yeah, I need to get on that. So, I would be wealthier if I did that.
Right. Yep. So how we got here, genealogy. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Member for 26 months says, is it easier streaming with a co-host to keep you moving and engaging viewers? Depends on the co-host. So as you notice with D,
Hold on.
like I'll be going down something.
Slow your roll, son.
I'll be getting my thoughts out. Everything's coming to alignment, and I get like right here, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to land on this, and it's just going to be like exactly how I want this to land. And then here comes D, right? Like a snow plow, like just cruising through the snow and like just tailbones me. Is it tailbone? Side bone?
T-bone.
T-bones me right in the side
That's
right
why
as I'm coming into the intersection.
That's why you get T-boned.
Yep.
You don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, it is.
You
right?
don't even
Right? I
understand
don't
what
even
it's
understand what I'm
called.
up against.
You're thinking it's a different type of bone. That's why you get T-boned.
I know.
You don't even
But,
know
like,
the letter of the bone that it is.
I know, right?
That's why you're
That's why
T-boned
it's- yeah,
every single time
right?
without fail.
This is what I mean. Right
T-bone,
here.
T-bone,
Right?
T-bone.
This is what I mean.
And I come back with the reverse bone.
I know. Yep. So, but yeah, it is easier. So it's easier because one, you have that other person that you can, play off of. Sometimes if like, let's say you are doing something and you just kind of run out of like juice or energy or something like that, having another person there, can make that easier too. Yeah. So there's advantages and disadvantages. So, you'll notice when I stream by myself, I do things a little bit differently than when we stream together. So for example, I suck a lot more, when I'm streaming myself. No, I'm just kidding. But like, when I stream myself, I'll play more music videos, I'll show more stuff on the screen and things like that, just because my setup is different, stuff like that. I usually stay more on track in terms of, just kind of burning through questions. So when I do those solo streams, like I'll just, annihilate all the questions that are in there in most cases. So like those types of things are good, but I don't have as much fun when I'm doing it myself. When I'm here, and I'm doing it with D, it's almost like by the time the stream is finished, like it's almost like we didn't even do anything, like we hung out. So because of that, the whole thing feels different as well. So yeah, it's definitely and my experience is easier with a co-host.
I enjoy
Better in person with a co-host than it is virtually with a co-host. Virtually, you're dealing with like delays and stuff like that sometimes, so it can make things like a little bit not like the pacing might not be as smooth there. But when you're in person, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I've had 2 streams with co-hosts or with whoever's the lead host. It doesn't matter. Streams with other people. So I've done this show with Nick, which is an absolute joy because we do it live.
Robin.
We hang out before we come in because he lives on the other side of the country. And so we hang out, we eat dinner, we get coffee, we talk about whatever, and we kind of do the thing together. So it's for us to stream together here, it's more about the day than it is about just the few hours that we're streaming. This is kind of like it all leads up to this at the end of the day. And it's awesome because we have each other to play off of. And this sort of stream it's a lot of fun to make. We joke around a lot and, it's loose versus when he goes live by himself. It's a lot more structured. He's a lot more to the point where I'm over here just trying to make him uncomfortable when we're streaming together. Yeah. I've also done a stream with Daniel Battelle that a lot of you know where we stream together virtually. And that's also a ton of fun. There are sometimes technical things where maybe one person's microphone isn't, why are you not synced or why is the audio segment through? But the technical aspect aside, when you're streaming with another person, that person is always there, especially when you've streamed with them for a while and you understand the flow of each other. When you start to notice, okay, they're powering down, they're slowing down here, I need to jump in. Or they pick up and when you're kind of, okay, they need a break or they're kind of fumbling through, I need to hop in and take care of this. It makes the time go by really quickly. Yeah. Nick or Daniel, either one, they call me at any time and says, we got to stream, I'm on it. Because I know it's going to be easy and I know that they're going to carry at least half the load, if not more. So I think co-hosts are great. It's a different experience than if you have a single person. Yeah. So you have to think about the tone of your show, the tone of your live stream. Yep. What are you trying to put out there? Are you trying to be very serious? And if that case, you might not need somebody like me. But I can be serious. Sure. If I had to be serious, I'd be serious. Like if he told me, he's like, look, man, on my show, we don't do any shenanigans. So we would be serious.
Right. But what fun is that?
Right. But there is zero fun.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted
hey, dude, we're not having fun here anymore. Yeah, we're just all business.
Listen.
In that particular case, it'd be like,
the day this is not fun is the day I'll stop doing it.
We're shutting the whole thing down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's not fun anymore, then we won't do it anymore.
If I dread coming in here to stream because it's not fun, we're not going to do it anymore. If Daniel and I's show it's no longer on the Streamware channel, but if I didn't want to do, I got to do a stream with Daniel, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
That'd be it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic, and it allows you to be more creative and play off of each other and come up with some different things.
There's also things too, like specifically with what it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
And you might find this, with what it is that you're doing too, because you're sharing things about things that you're knowledgeable about, and
Yeah.
people are coming to you looking for solutions to things.
Yeah.
So another thing that's also really good is, like in this scenario, I get to give my perspective, and then, D can jump in with his perspective
tell
as
you how you're
well,
wrong.
and explain like all of the different ways that I'm wrong and why his way is better.
Exactly.
And by, doing that, it also gives another point of view, which is cool, even though it's wrong. It's another point of view. So because of that, you also have that sort of thing as well, to where people get both sides of that. In addition to that, there's also another side of it. And that other side is that, there's probably some people that are hanging out in this live stream right now, even though it's on my channel. The real reason that they're hanging out here is because they like D and the stuff that D's doing.
You got that right.
Whereas
You got that
when
right.
I'm doing a solo stream myself, they might come into my solo stream and be like, oh, he's by himself today. I'm not even going to watch. I'm going to go do something else, right? So because of that, there's like that other person that's there that, people can also like or dislike as well. So, there's that side of things as well. So, yeah, all kinds of different, advantages and disadvantages to it. But what I recommend that you do is, if you are interested in having a co-host on your show, is try to find somebody that you think would be a good co-host that's just in alignment with how you like to do things and stuff like that, and give it a shot. Do a couple episodes,
Yeah.
see how your audience responds to it, see how you like it, see how you, play off of each other and how well you, stream together, and then, make the call from there.
You need to have someone that you complement each other in some way with how you communicate live.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to agree on everything. I mean, we all I don't agree with Nick on everything. Daniel and I don't agree on everybody has their differences, but it's good to get those different views, and it's good that different people have ways of communicating.
Yep.
And it's just good that you're able to have somebody that you're streaming with or doing videos with or whatever, that you have that balance in the back and forth. Even if you don't agree, you completely disagree, and that might even make an even more interesting dynamic. Right. But if you disagree on something, that also needs to be the dynamic has to be there to where people want to watch you disagree,
right?
Or they want to watch you agree, or you're both great together at giving them information, right? There has to be some sort of a dynamic there. And if that chemistry is not there, it's not going to work.
Yep.
You got to have chemistry. That's the word I was missing. Chemistry.
Yep. And really quick, also, I do want to remind everybody here, just because I didn't say it at the beginning of the stream today, we have Vid Summit coming up. That's happening in September 3rd through September 5th in Dallas, Texas. Vid Summit is a conference for content creators that are serious about, YouTube, and people that are looking to, make YouTube a thing in terms of either, like something they're wanting to do professionally, or something that they're wanting to do as like a good side gig or something along those lines. But if you are a content creator that's serious about this, I recommend that you go to vidsummit.com and just look at the page there, look at the speakers that are going to be there. Like the biggest creator on YouTube is actually, going to be there. He's actually partnered in the event as well, Mr. Beast. But basically, go to vidsummit.com, check it out, see if it's a good fit for you. If it is, then, we hope to see you in Dallas, Texas on September 3rd through the 5th.
You have a couple of super chats, I think.
So the very first one here is from Elder Fox Documentaries. Thank you for the super chat. It says, what do you think about the trend of using old content to create 5+ hour compilation videos? And do you have any insights on the RPM of these videos? I don't have insights on the RPM of those videos, but what you're talking about is something that a lot of people are experimenting with right now. If you think that it would be a good fit for your audience, then of course, experimenting with that as well is definitely, something you can try. People have been doing this for a really long time. It's not, like a new thing. It's just that more people are kind of doing it now. And also, I don't know if they've rolled this out or if they're just kind of testing it or whatever, but I know YouTube was doing an experiment, which might make it seem like it's trending. YouTube was doing an experiment for a period of time where they were actually doing that like on the behalf of the creator as a feature. So basically you could basically, say like these videos or whatever, and then it would basically like put it together. So because of that, if it is something you're interested in, I definitely recommend that you just try it and see if your audience enjoys it or not. If it is something good and people do come in there and they really enjoy it a lot, then in that particular case, those videos can do very well. But on the other side, if it's not something that your audience is into, then in that case, they might click on it and be like, oh, 5 hours, I'm out of here, right? So it just depends on what you're doing. But it's just like everything else on YouTube, just experimenting with it and seeing if it's a good fit for your audience, if it's something that you're interested in, is the move in that particular scenario. And the other one that we had here is from Morgan Soft. Says, thank you for this live stream. I would like to change my format from AI built videos to personal, perhaps by changing my niche. I don't want to lose my subscribers. Yeah, so if you have videos that are all AI videos, like let's say that you were trying to do some type of like faceless YouTube channel based around like AI or something like that, then in that particular case, just being like, hey, now we're just going to do camera stuff, that's perfectly okay. But keep in mind that, people interacting with that channel, if you've built up like a, good audience from it, I'm actually just going to go to your channel right now and look. You've got 235 subscribers. Don't even worry about it. Hop on camera, start heading in the direction that you want to go by being on camera yourself. If that's something that you want to do, you have nothing to worry about in terms of the subscribers that you have. One thing that I want you to do just when you get the opportunity is if you go into your YouTube analytics, which is the statistics behind your YouTube channel, go look at the returning viewers that you have. Just look at the last 28 days. That's the date range that you want to look at, and go look and see how many people, actually return to the channel to watch your videos. And when you look at that information, it may help with that decision that you're going to make and your confidence in being like, okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and move that AI stuff out of the way. Now I'm going to be on camera. We're going to start something new here. You are still early enough in the process to where, you can pivot at any time, but you're still early enough in the process to where that pivot is gonna just make the old content that's currently on the channel just kind of seem like it was never even like made in the first place. Like once you see the thing through and you're like a year down the road, it's going to seem like that content like never even existed in the first place. So yeah, so you're totally good to go ahead and make that pivot. The lead attorney, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Says that they have a co-host, and this is back on Brian's question. Says that they have a co-host and it's amazing. Yeah, it can definitely be helpful. Let's see here. So next up on the list here, Learn Spanish World. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. Mark Dangerfield, what's up? Hope you're awesome today. So next up, we've got, let me make sure I answered this one. Did we do Fat Mouse Sports yet?
I don't think so. Super chat?
Super chat.
Oh, yeah, that was the live streaming question that sent us down that entire rabbit hole. Okay, so now we are doing Switch Gaming. Switch Gaming does daily content. They've been on YouTube for less than a year. It's a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I made 2 shorts, and one of them, the view rate is 84% and is 30 seconds long. And the second short view rate is 169% and is 8 seconds long. For both shorts, I only got 400 or 500 views. The click-through rate is not super high. Is this my problem? I thought that I would get more views. Thanks. So when it comes to YouTube, embrace the idea that you're just getting started. You're going to go through a lot of stuff like this where you expect things to go a certain way, but it's going to go another way instead. Sometimes it's going to go your way. Sometimes it's not part of the thing. Once you get more experience, you can make things a little bit more consistent and kind of turn switches on, so to speak, when you need to. But when it comes to the what it is that you're doing, just uploading an 8-second video by itself. If you're just trying to get views on that particular video, like that's fine. And yeah, you can get the 169% of the retention on it, but it's 8 seconds, right? So because of that, like you can't, expect, some short videos like that do well, but in terms of, the watch time that you're getting on that, it's like, it's hardly anything at all. And according to YouTube, the first 400 impression or the first 400 views or so on your shorts, it's just YouTube just trying to figure out who the right people are for that video anyway. So here's what I recommend that you do, is I recommend that you, one, just be patient with the process, right? Because a lot of people, when they come onto YouTube and they get started, they will, have these expectations of okay, it needs to be, these videos need to do this right now. But keep in mind, you're competing with everything that YouTube thinks the people that are a good fit for your content. You're competing with everything that is also a good fit for that particular viewer. So if it's music, if it's food, if it's, the biggest creators on YouTube, you're competing with all of that. So because of that, just embrace where you're at in the process and keep going. I know sometimes when you publish a video and it doesn't do what you thought, it can be frustrating, but it's part of the process. And, you're going to have those. Even when you're really good at this, you're going to have videos that you publish that you think would do better. And sometimes, you know, they don't do what you anticipated. Sometimes you'll publish something that you'll be like, I think this is going to do good, but maybe not as good as a lot of my stuff. And it'll end up being awesome in terms of how people respond to it. So because of that, just, you know, embrace that side of things, and don't beat yourself up over a video not, you know, turning out or not getting the results that you anticipated. Just learn from each video and then move forward by making another video based on the things that you've learned from the previous. And constantly be developing your skill sets in the process. So it looks like the iPhone users here, D, at 223 votes, we're at 51% and 49%.
For which?
For iPhone users, because I just put a poll up here and I said,
Gotcha.
do you have an iPhone? So out of 223 viewers.
So it's like, do you have an iPhone or are you a savage?
Right.
Is
Do you
that
have an
the question?
iPhone? Or yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, we're at 51% on the iPhones in here.
Wow, there are a lot of savages in here.
Yeah.
Wonder if you guys cook your meat or not. Android.
Boss it live. What's going on? Hope you're doing awesome.
Just
nice to
kidding.
see you in here.
Just kidding. I started on an Android and I evolved into a human.
So next up, we've got Cooking with Shams. Cooking with Shams has been making videos for less than a year. They do cooking vlogs. The goal of the channel is I want to grow and make money. And the question is, I haven't started with thumbnails. I am very new to the social media platform. I need some advice.
There you go. You're about to get some advice. I don't know if it's the advice that you want to get. You're about to get some.
So the very first thing I want to say,
Excuse you there.
if you want to grow and make money, you got to learn how to make thumbnails. You got to learn how to make good videos. You got to learn how to understand that you are making content for a specific type of viewer and learn the nuances of the things that they want from you when it comes to the content that you're publishing to your YouTube channel. You have to, develop a lot of different skills around doing all of this. So because of that,
You all right, man?
yeah.
Guess
So
I'll have to cover this for a moment while he is hydrating and getting whatever scratches in his throat. What was the question?
So
You got it?
they haven't started with a thumbnail.
Okay.
They're very new to the social media platform and they need some advice. That's it. They do cooking vlogs, and the goal of the channel is they want to grow and make money.
Advice on what?
Just on I don't know. I guess thumbnails maybe. So somebody brand new, they haven't started making thumbnails yet. What would be your best tips
boy.
for them to keep in mind when it comes to the thumbnails that they're making?
They're a food channel.
Yep.
Let's focus on this. If you are a food channel and you're making thumbnails for a food channel, first and foremost, I would look at all of the big food channels in the niche, the ones that are succeeding, wildly succeeding, and I would look at the type of thumbnails that they're making, because that's what you're competing with. I mean, you're also competing with all the other interests of the audience, but in terms of food specific, look at their thumbnails. Most of them are going to be, the ones that are succeeding are going to be pictures of food. They're going to be really clear, vibrant, close-up pictures of food that show the people you see the thumbnail and you see what the food is. Some of them might have text on it. Some of them might not have text. But if you are going to put text, make it very simple. Make it very simple, easy to read. But you have to put the food, and it needs to be a good looking picture of the food. Make sure it is zoomed in, not where it's 40% table and the rest is food. Like, bring it right up there. Go look at the best food channels, and they're going to put the food right up there. So when people are looking at those things, they want to see the food. That would be how I address your thumbnails first if you have no skills.
Yep.
You don't have to buy anything expensive to make them. You can use your phone.
Yep.
Make sure it's lit well. Put it next to the window or use your room lighting. Take a pictures of your phone, or take pictures of food with your phone. You can use a free app called Snapseed. It's made by Google. Snapseed. Yep, Snapseed. You can download that, bring it in. You can adjust the contrast and the brightness and the saturation. You can even select individual colors to make those more vibrant, to make your thumbnail stand out even more. I wouldn't overthink it at this stage, because you have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
You have a ton to learn.
Yeah.
Overall packaging, titles, video editing, thumbnails, etc. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. And don't think you need more than this to make it happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the people that are going to see your videos being presented to them that you're trying to connect with, those people care about food.
Yep.
So like Dee was saying, make sure that you focus your imagery on the food,
Yep.
because that's going to be the thing that's going to grab their attention. All the other stuff that you might want to add to it in terms of, putting people in it, or maybe, putting a bunch of text on there or something like that. Don't worry about any of that. Just focus on the food itself as like your starting point. Like, how can I make like a really good picture of food and make this look as delicious as possible? So if a foodie sees this and, they're interested in cooking, that they feel that like, oh, I want to make that, and try to make it look that good in terms of the thumbnail. And then from there, you're going to have to learn how to make good video content and all that stuff. But for the thumbnails themselves, just right now, like Dee was saying, don't overcomplicate it. Just focus on like the imagery of the food and get really good at taking like photos of food. So one thing I recommend that you do is hop on YouTube, watch videos, if they exist, on how to take, or on like food photography. And the whole idea there, you might even be able to find some like mobile food photography videos, I'm not sure. But the idea there is it's going to help teach you like how to take really good pictures of food. I know sometimes, they use like artificial stuff just to make like the food look, even better than what it came out with. They'll stage the actual end result to where it'll look something similar, but the one they use for thumbnails, there's like, they'll use like glue for sauce and, stuff like that. So because of that, just look into food photography so you can give yourself the best advantage there on your thumbnails.
Yeah. Daniel Battelle and I, we did a presentation at Vid Summit a couple years ago, and we had a sample. We built a mock YouTube channel.
Yep. I remember that.
It's 20. I was pulling it up here. It was 20-minute meals. So we were showing people a mock YouTube channel we made, and it was 20-minute meals. Fast and easy recipes for everyone. So we built, we showed people how to set up playlists, etc., based around that. So my advice to you getting started, if you're a
really quick, hold on, stop.
Yeah.
So just on the name of that by itself and the value proposition that Dee just said, like the clarity that whole thing says, like the picture that paints, right? 20-minute meals.
20-minute meals, fast and easy recipes for everyone.
Yeah. Like, okay, so if you land on a channel page and you're somebody that, likes to cook, but you're a busy person, like home run right there, right? So the thing that I'm wanting to point out there before he goes into the concept about the thumbnails is just how, the whole concept starts with like, what is it that you're offering and how can you offer it and everybody can learn from this. What is it that you're offering and how can you offer it in a unique way that would make your channel stand out from what other people are doing? And in that particular scenario, they would focus on meals that take 20 minutes or less to make, right? 20 minutes or less, or is it just around 20 minutes?
It was 20-minute meals, fast and easy recipes for everyone. And for an example, so we even put together some example playlist, and we have like the featured video at the top. For example, a video title, instead of just how to make pineapple pizza, that might be what you're thinking about when you're getting started. We had an example of how to make pineapple pizza like an Italian in 20 minutes, right? So we added context to pineapple pizza. You're not just making pineapple pizza. First of all, I don't think Italians actually put pineapple on pizza.
We just started making our own pizza at home, and it takes us like 20 minutes just to get the dough ready.
Okay, well, it was an example, right? So instead of just how to make pineapple pizza like an Italian in 20 minutes. That's very specific, right? And let me go through here. We have a playlist.
How to make it like Mario in 20 minutes.
Yeah, right. So we have a playlist idea. We're showing people how to put playlists together. So instead of a playlist title that says chicken recipes, the playlist title is quick and delicious chicken dinner recipes. And the type of videos we put in that playlist are videos like the 20-minute fried chicken sandwich, easy chicken ramen recipe that's ready in 20 minutes, 20-minute Japanese chicken that will change your life. And that all goes with our packaging of the channel, which was 20-minute meals, right? Fast and easy recipes for everyone. So when you're thinking about how can I get going with a food channel, try to think of an angle that you can come at and build all of your packaging around that angle. Maybe you're teaching people how to make quick meals on the go, right? Maybe you're trying to teach single mothers how to make kids for their families that don't have a lot of time, or for their family. There's lots of different angles that you can go. Maybe you're trying to teach people how to make vegetarian meals, vegan meals, whatever. Just think of an angle and think of the packaging and how to sell those videos instead of just how to make pineapple pizza, how to make chicken dumplings, right? Add some excitement to it. Give it purpose.
Yep, make it compelling.
Make it compelling. Give them a reason to click.
Yep. Ria Torres, thank you for the super chat. Says, would you rather start making content that you know will bring more subscribers or keep focusing on content that your current subscribers care for? This is where content strategy comes into play, okay? So there isn't a yes, do this answer. The answer is that you have the opportunity as a content creator to publish lots and lots of videos. So what you should be thinking about is you should be thinking about, okay, these videos that I'm publishing here, some of these, videos that I have on my list, these are for the people that are the things that my subscribers care about the most. These videos here are videos that I'm making for the purpose of tapping into newer audiences. Maybe there are things that are more broad in nature that larger groups of people are interested in. To where if somebody that isn't familiar with your content yet, if they get recommended that video on their homepage, they're likely to click on it just because the topic makes sense to them, right? So because of that, you want to do all of the above. It's not, this is kind of like the question that people ask about, should I, what's the most important, stat inside of, your YouTube analytics? Well, it's not that there's one, stat that makes everything, different. The thing that you need to be focusing on is, what is happening in your stats? How are people responding? And how can you fix the places where they're responding poorly? So it's not necessarily like only focus on your click-through rate or only focus on your audience retention. You got to do all of it. So just like in this scenario, it's not that you only start making content that will bring in more subscribers or you only focus on content that serves the current subscriber base. You think, this is who it is that I'm targeting with my content, and because of that, I'm going to make content that's great for this particular audience. Within that, there's going to be some nuance, and some of that nuance might mean that some of the content that I'm going to publish is going to be more appropriate for people that are already kind of familiar with my channel and they watch a lot of my videos and stuff like that. And then some of the content is going to be published for that purpose of getting in front of newer people because it's more broad in nature. That's the idea. So do both is the answer to that question. And, instead of looking at it like an either or thing, just look at it as like, I have this amazing opportunity. And sometimes we lose sight of this, right? And I do too. But sometimes we lose sight of this to where we have this amazing opportunity to where we can make something in our home or at our jobs or while we're out and about or whatever the thing is. And we get to publish it to the internet, and when we publish it to the internet, if it's good, then there's going to be a certain amount of people that are going to enjoy that content to where we can share something with those people. And then we can also, sneak in messages that we want to share, with the people that are interacting with our content and, and those sorts of things. So, and in some cases, we can make like money off of this. In some cases, it's life-changing money. So when it comes to, the opportunity that we have here, it's staggering. And when we are, trying to make decisions on, making content that's going to bring in the new viewers or content that's going to serve the current viewers, just think of it like, okay, I have this opportunity to just make something that's going to, serve, either, both of those groups in terms of the subscribers are going to love it and anybody new that comes in that is interested in the things that I'm making videos about, they're going to love it too. If you, focus on just serving that viewer with the content, then, all the things that we want out of being content creators, all of those things line up when we focus on like, okay, how can I learn how to make really good content for people? How can I learn how to get people to click on that content? And how can I consistently over a long period of time, how can I maintain this and how can I keep it going? And while all of that is happening, how can I also work in some monetization options so that I can make sure that I am, earning some income, either a full-time income or a side income off of what it is that I'm doing here on YouTube, and then, just continuing the process. But we have such a huge opportunity here, and because of that, just remember that side of things. And when it comes to those decisions on making content for these people or these people, think about it, making content for this type of person. And within that, I'm going to have some people that are subscribers, some people that are new, but I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to make a little bit of content for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roberto Blake's in the
Roberto
house.
Blake. What's up, dude? Hope that you're doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. Roberto Blake is the author of Create Something Awesome, which is a book right here where he helps you start profiting from your passion. So if you're a content creator and you are trying to, make money from content, Get this. It's on Amazon. Just look for Create Something Awesome by Roberto Blake. I might have a link to this in my description. I think that I do, because I think it's part of my upload default for my live stream. So you can check it out there, or just go to Amazon and check it out yourself.
Whenever Roberto comes into the stream, and this only happens, okay, I want to cheer everybody. Hey, Daniel Battelle,
Yeah, sure.
Brian G. Johnson in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Sean Kent. Like, there's a thing, and I don't know why, but when Roberto comes in, I want to go, Roberto Blake's in the house. I have no idea why. Like, that's my instinct when Roberto comes in. Like, everybody, I got like a little bit of different thing for him, but Roberto, I want to yell it.
Nice.
Roberto
You want to shout it
Blake.
from the mountaintops?
I want to go to the rooftop and shout that Roberto Blake is in the house. Yeah. I don't know why. That's the energy that he brings.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Yeah, Roberto says the reason I recommend 3 videos per week, if your niche works for it, is because you can make a video for returning viewers, a video for new viewers, and a video that is meant to make money. Boom. Right?
That's good.
And that's the whole idea when it comes to content strategy, is you're being, intentional like that, right? It's the idea.
Tom Nash says Roberto has his own real life theme music.
Yep. He does. He's got one in my home setup. He's got one over there too, where I've got this whole like Sith Lord of YouTube thing that plays. You know what? I should load those into the back of StreamYard.
We need these in here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I think I have them on Dropbox. I can share that Dropbox folder. You can get them in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated on that one because you have to actually go into the menu to switch sounds and stuff.
But I can put it in the stream deck.
Yeah. You can do it there. That works.
Yeah. Roberto.
Let's see.
I was like, you know what it is? Like WWE. I want to like Roberto Blake, and he comes running in and
to like
slides
some
under the
theme
mat.
songs. There's like fireworks and like
When he comes running down,
going behind him,
running in like Hulk Hogan, goes under the belts,
ropes.
The ropes slides across the mat. And gets
everybody's
up.
like,
that's how Roberto makes an entrance.
Yeah, it's good.
Every time I think, also, and I don't know why we're going down there, Roberto Blake. Every time somebody brings up Roberto, I think about VidCon. I think about going to VidCon, first time going to VidCon, and it was like, oh, Roberto's speaking. And I remember, it was my first VidCon, and he was speaking there, and I don't know why, you just get those weird memories of people. And my memory is thinking like, oh, we're going to go see Roberto speak. This is going to be awesome. And I couldn't even get in the room. Yeah. It was standing room only, and there were so many people inside. They had
to turn people away.
They had to turn people away. And I remember thinking like, because I knew it was Roberto, but I remember it was at that moment. I was like, wow. I was like, there was no one else in the entire conference that I saw get turning people away at the door.
Room up like that.
He filled the room, standing room only. They closed the doors and turned people away. And I was just like, wow. Like that shifted my perspective of how many people truly wanted to hear what he had to say. I was like, wow, that dude fills a room. That dude not packed a room, shut the door and had to turn people away.
It's a big room too.
It's a big room. Shut the door and had to turn. I've never seen that to date anywhere else. Even as Mr. Beast, he says
right here, he says, what are you going to do when Roberto Mania runs wild, brother?
That's what I'm talking about right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so since we're talking about Roberto's like, oh God, move on, please.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about Roberto, so the first live stream that I did after, so basically I did a live stream where I showed people how to do a tutorial.
I wish he wouldn't have said that because now it's in my head.
It's in your brain.
What are you going to do? Roberto Mania runs wild for you, brother. I'm going to go home and just rip my shirt off.
But I had a stream where I had 2 people come into it, and I was super pumped up about it, but then I didn't do another stream for like a long time. And when I went live on mobile, when YouTube first introduced that feature, Roberto came into the stream, and I'm like, holy crap, Roberto Blake's in here. I didn't say it, at the time, but I was like, holy crap, Roberto Blake's in here. Yeah, it was funny.
Let me tell you, brother, all these YouTubers out here giving advice, they don't know what I'm talking about. What are you going to do, brother, when the Roberto Mania runs wild on you?
I love it. Gary Simon like watching for Twitter. What's going on, man?
Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage. What are you going to do?
Good. Yeah. Oh, man. So
love you, Roberto, man. Hope you're doing well.
Yep, hope you're doing well, man.
Yep, derailed that one.
Yep. Well done, D. Well done. All right, so.
That's what he does.
Yep.
Standing room only, folks.
Yep.
Actually, no, shut the door.
Yep.
You couldn't. They wouldn't even leave the door open so we could watch from the hallway.
Yep.
I was irritated with that. I was amazed that Roberto, they had to close the door, but I was also mad at VidCon.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, how did you not prepare for this?
Yeah.
Second of all, people are paying to get. There was a lot of people.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people trying to get in, and they shut the door. We couldn't even watch from the hallway.
Yeah.
And I was like, imagine paying for VidCon, coming here,
And being like, I just want to see Roberto.
I just want to see Roberto.
Yeah. Then you probably would have gotten in there early. Then it would be
Maybe
the
not.
person's fault for not going there early.
You can't predict that.
Yeah.
Like I would have never in a million years thought
That's
that
kind of the golden rule, though. Like, if you have a talk
Yeah.
and you want to like get into it, like you want to make sure that you get there early if you can, unless you're just coming out of another talk
Dude.
and then you're rushing over to that talk. But yeah, like the priority stuff for like
Listen,
all
first,
that.
if that was it was my first year, I would have never been able to predict that. Never.
Roberto says he'll see everybody at Vid Summit this year, that he's going to be talking about going full-time and diversifying income streams, and he'll be going case studies revealing the monetization of big YouTubers.
There you go.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So next up on our list here, we've got Kev Goes. Kev Goes, they upload when they have time, but on YouTube a year or more. The type of channel is mostly outdoors and camping content. The goal of the channel is to make entertaining, useful videos, mostly in the outdoor camping genre, trying to encourage others to connect with nature, also trying to satisfy my creativity and to monetize. The goal of the channel says I've just recently, or the question is, I've just finally reached the first level of monetization. I'm trying to figure out the next steps. Is there anything that I can do to prepare for full monetization to be able to make the best of it once I get there? Go ahead and start using the current crowdfunding type monetization features, through super chats, things like that. If you're live streaming, go ahead and start using those now. And then, that'll just kind of get you a little bit familiar with, things, and, gives you some numbers to look at when it comes to, the analytics when you're looking at the monetization side. If, anybody super chats or, joins your memberships or anything like that. If not, then no big deal. Once you get to the advertising side, then you'll be fine. But in terms of prepping for it, nothing really to prep for, because you're not going to really get any information until you actually get, monetized with ads. Because typically in this scenario, we might say something like, you can go and see the videos that typically drive the higher ad rates. So because of that, if you are intentionally trying to get more ad revenue, that it can be helpful or advantageous to make sure that you are focusing on content that typically gets higher ad rates, that kind of stuff. But, since you're just getting into it, there's not really a preparation that you need to do outside of just being mindful that, if you are generating revenue from YouTube, that you are, responsible for taxes on that and things like that. So just keep those types of things in mind. And congratulations, by the way, on hitting that first milestone.
Yep.
It's a big deal. And the fact that you're going to be doing it again soon for the advertising side, like you're doing awesome. Keep it up.
I blew my vocal cords out
when you're being Hulk Hogan.
I could never be like an MMA or a WWE announcer. I probably won't speak right now for 3 days.
All right. Well done, D.
Yeah.
Nice work.
So
I guess our duet that we're supposed to do tomorrow, I guess we're not going to be able to do that.
We will not be doing the Nimmin version of More Than Words by Extreme tomorrow, as we were planning on doing.
All right. Well,
we're going to have to postpone that.
Yeah, so we're going to have to send them a message down there at the city center.
Yeah. And as I'm laying in bed tonight and tomorrow, and I'm nursing my throat, however I nurse my throat.
Drinking some throat coat tea.
Some throat coat tea. I'll be thinking about Roberto Blake.
No.
I've been thinking about I blew my voice out because of Roberto.
No, you blew your voice out because of you.
Roberto! It's already scratchy. It's already, yep, there we go.
All right. So let's see here. So next up, we've got Ray's Garden. Ray's Garden. They do natural gardening education content. The goal of the channel is to help everyone grow their own food. And the question is it bad practice to make a potentially slightly off-niche video here and there about grilling on the Blackstone? It's a sales video with fresh veggies that we grow. So you do natural gardening education as a part of that, showing people how occasionally, or maybe on a regular basis, depending on how they respond to it, showing people how to actually cook and prepare the food that you are making with the things that you grow. I think that's actually, in alignment, because then you're not just showing people how to grow their food, you're also showing them how to actually prepare it, and maybe even some things that they can make with the food that they're growing. So because of that, yeah, I think that's definitely something to experiment with and see if your audience responds well to it. Next up, we've got, you all right, D?
Yeah. I'm just sitting here wondering how I'm going to make it through.
Oh, okay.
I really hurt my throat.
Really?
Yeah. You can hear it. It's like...
It is like softer. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, it wasn't the Roberto, it was the Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
It was the Hulk Hogan, like, savage.
The raspiness kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a good cause.
Yeah.
It was a good
That's
cause.
right.
I mean, if you're going to blow your voice out...
Yeah, it's a good thing to do it for.
I mean, What you gonna do when Roberto Mania runs? Like, you're gonna blow your voice out. That's what you're gonna do.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, that's step one. Blow your voice out. Yeah.
So, World of KRS is our next question here. They upload when they have time. Been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do art, animation, and art rants. The goal of the channel is to build a community, and the question is, how can I entertain and/or build my community without promoting a fake persona and/or version of myself? So the best thing that you can do on YouTube is to be the real version of yourself.
That's hard, though.
It is.
That's hard, though, and I'll tell you why. Because I would be canceled.
Judgment, that's why.
I would be canceled in 2 seconds flat.
Oh, you think you'd make it 2 seconds? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, hit the clock. Whoa, he's out of here. Yeah,
Whoa.
like, yeah. Yeah, if you would make it to the end of, like, the first count before the second hits, yeah, then yeah, I'd be surprised.
Here's the balance. You have to balance the persona that you put on camera based on what your goals are and based on the risk that you're willing to take. If you want to be your 100% authentic self, I think that's great. Knock yourself out. You do you. Mm-hmm. That comes with risk. That comes at risk of being canceled. That comes with risk of not being able to work with certain companies or not being able to get any brand deals at all unless they're weird companies. You know, things that risk you getting kicked off of YouTube and your only choice is to stream on Rumble. Right. You know, like it comes with risk for being 100% your true self, depending on the type of self that you are. Yeah. So there's a balance.
Yeah, Chantel says here, be a version of yourself. I'd like to add to that and say be like a good version of yourself.
Yeah. So be yourself, but if you want to have longevity and not risk getting canceled and be able to work with big brands. And I love to keep my content family friendly and brand friendly because I have people from all over the world. I have churches that have people who are like, oh yeah, we're teaching, kids people are teaching the kids how to use Snapseed based off my videos at church. They're teaching the kids. So like when you get those comments, it really adds perspective of who's watching. Yeah. Because you get demographics between male, female, ages, regions of the world. But when you have people saying like, oh yeah, we from church or, I'm a pastor and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I really need to be careful because I appreciate them. And I don't have to say things that could eliminate people. Right. So I like to be brand friendly and family friendly, but I also like to add let's not add my personality. I just like to let a little bit of my personality out there. Yep. But
Brian says he does it really well here. Says, be yourself with restraint.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah. Because then you're being your authentic self. Like, for example.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
Like we don't, curse on the stream almost. Like when we first started it today, it was close. But yeah, we don't like curse or anything like that on camera. And the whole idea is like, there's just better ways to explain things where you don't need to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But just being, family friendly and just considering the people that are watching and kind of respecting them. Like another side of it too, like Dee was talking about with the church thing, is you also have people watching your videos, depending on the content you make, of course,
watching.
With kids hanging out, right? So, because of that, you want to make sure that your content is accessible for people. If they're watching it with their family or if they're watching it, if somebody's sitting in the back seat of a car watching your video while they're like traveling somewhere, you don't want
man.
Yeah, you don't want, them to like have to shut it down because everybody's offended with what they're saying, what you're saying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
but you do you.
Yeah, you do you. Yeah, whatever you want to put out there. But I think Brian's explanation there on being yourself with restraint, I think that's absolutely perfect.
Roberto here says, you can be yourself, but the 80-20 rule is about respecting your boundaries and their boundaries.
Yes.
So keep in mind they can be watching you anywhere, in school, with kids, with their family, etc. Exactly. Spot on, man.
Yep.
Spot on.
Yep.
There's lots of things that I would like to talk about or things that I would like to say. It doesn't fit on this particular channel. We talked about this. I mean, this is a real conversation. So Nick and I have had this conversation more than once. I would love to have a channel where I could talk about whatever it is I wanted to talk about recent events, talk about whatever, just like in my channel, talk about whatever, right? It doesn't matter the views, but I have a fear that comes with that. Because I know that if I crossed lines or my opinions did not agree with certain whatever on that channel, if I'm giving my opinion, could that cost me deals elsewhere?
Right.
Could that impact the other things that I'm doing because of what I might be saying on another channel? And then after I think about that, I'm like, yeah, it very well could, because on some things I can be very opinionated, like everybody can.
Sure.
But it's just not that important to me. Like, I don't need to
especially when it comes to pineapple on pizza as an example.
Whoa.
Yeah. See?
Whoa.
Yeah.
But I don't need to But I had to think about that, right? Like long and hard. Like it's not that important to me to say those things or to put those thoughts out there.
Right.
As much as I would like to, it's not necessary.
Right.
What's necessary is
what does it really add?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What does it add?
Right.
Right.
So Design Course, thanks for the super chat, says, I'm Gary Simon on X. I linked a quick YouTube video if you could watch the first minute and give a reaction. If not, no biggie, keep it up. Thanks for the super chat. So we don't watch content here while we're live streaming. The reason for that is because of, copyright, things like that. Plus, we don't know what's in the content and, those sorts of things. So so because of that, we actually don't do that here on the stream. But I do appreciate the super chat, and I apologize for you giving that before knowing that information. But yeah, we don't do that on the stream.
Robert Roberto said I could do a faceless channel with a voice changer.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
But that's like really trying to get your opinions out there, right? Yeah. That's like a lot of extra effort to get your to get controversial opinions.
Yeah, well,
out there.
It's not all controversial. It's not like I'm just one of those like, oh man, he's not a good guy at all.
Well,
it's not that.
Right.
It's not that. But there's just there's topics that I have stuff like. There's things that I would love to talk about.
Right.
Let's
just things that are going on in the world that you would just like to talk about, but it's just kind of
Just for example, like there's a lot of controversy right now about.
We go. See, here we go.
No, I'm not going to go into it, but I'm just going to give an example. There's a lot of controversy right now about Mr. Beast and the thing that happened with somebody that was on Mr. Beast's team, and then they got fired, and there's like a whole thing around that.
Yeah.
And it's like I have a lot of opinion on that, and it would probably upset a lot of people, but it doesn't belong on my channel.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that adds no value to my current channel whatsoever.
Right.
But I feel like there's a conversation that needs to be, well, it doesn't need to be. There's a conversation I would like to be a part of. There's a conversation I would like to be a part of without it costing me business elsewhere.
Sure.
Because we unfortunately live in a cancel culture.
Sure.
Right. So yeah, it's just that.
Yeah. And me, on the other hand, I just don't concern myself with those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, I want
it's like, oh, there's drama. Don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like that's all their business, and everybody that's like worried about their business. Like for me, I genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think that can also be a negative sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I want to be.
But it's like, I'm not even paying attention.
Yeah.
So
I'm the old man yelling at clouds guy.
No.
I'm the get off my lawn guy.
And I'm like, well, they're just walking across the grass. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not that I want to push an agenda. It's just I want to talk about it.
Sure.
I think that was just one example. Sure. I think it's an interesting topic, and I think there are lots of different ways to explore that topic. Mm-hmm. And I would like to be able to. I mean, I don't like when we stop talking about it. I'm not going to think about it again until I see something online about it. But it's just. There's just interesting topics I have there, and I just would like to be part of that conversation because I think it's interesting. Yeah. But I know in the society that we live in, oh my God, you think that?
Right.
Well,
with the internet that we participate on.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a clip of D. Nimmon saying this.
Right.
You're sending it to your sponsor or whatever.
Yeah, I think the society that we live in is kind of bad framing because the society that we live in, if you're hanging out, at the mall, nobody's going to care.
Right.
So it's the internet that we are participating in.
Yeah. We just live in the worst.
Society's kind of fine, Yeah. So, Tube Spanner, what's going on, Danielle? Hope you're doing fantastic. Says, we started a travel channel last week and did a worst hotels video. We reviewed a hotel where the rooms had no windows. It got no views. Boom, bop. Hey, I want to show everybody something exciting here, just really quick. And I'm just going to show you a quick thing, D, if you want to put on the front camera right here.
Your camera right here?
Yeah, the one on me. So, just really quick.
Yeah,
so,
Roberto, exactly.
So you guys don't know, for those of you that are Tube Spanner users, check out what's coming. Ooh.
Turn the brightness down. It's too bright.
Oh, is it too bright?
Yeah.
Okay. Turn it down a little bit.
Do you even know what you're doing?
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see the actual monitor. So yeah, so those of you that are Tube Spanner users, this is coming your way. Ooh, it's got to be a while, but that's coming your way.
You can't see it. It's just white.
Oh, you can't see it?
It's okay. Oh, a little bit, yeah. An app is coming. That's what he's trying to say. He doesn't know how to adjust his brightness.
You know what? I could have just put it in dark mode. That might have made it look better, actually. But yeah, that's definitely on the way. How's that, D? How's that look better? Does that look better on camera?
Let's see. Yeah. So you need.
Does dark mode look better?
Yeah.
Does it?
That looks way better.
Yeah, but anyway, that's coming your way, by the way. So if you're not using Tube Spanner yet, first make sure that you go to tubespanner.com. And I'm not saying this just because she put in the super chat. That just made me think about the app, and then this whole thing started. So yeah, just go to tubespanner.com, check out YouTube tool, do all kinds of helpful stuff for you there.
Yeah, this is an interesting take too. You know, for me, the interesting part of the Mr. B stuff is the risk young people being on social media and being very casual and not realizing that their past will come back if they become famous and get canceled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's just,
I think that's just a hard thing for a young person anyway.
Yeah, I know, but like
as a young person, that's part of being young is that you're just exploring all these different ideas and these different points of view and things like that. And just because you do something, you know, when you are, you know, 13, that doesn't mean that, you know, by the time you're 14 or 15 or 18, that the way that you're thinking about things or viewing the world is exactly the same.
Yeah, but we don't live in that world anymore. Like,
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that's just how it is, right? Like a kid's going to be a kid regardless of, you know, of how the world is. A kid's still going to be a kid and do stupid stuff. That's part of just development.
Roberto, I don't know if you have a video on this yet, but like a video addressing the youth might be something that someone needs to make just to make them aware. Like, hey, I know you're wilding out and you're young and you're, you know, expressing yourself.
But part of being a kid is to hear that information and do it anyway.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I've gotten so much advice through my life, not just as a kid.
Yeah.
Like you've given me tons of advice. And I'm like, hey, that's great. And then I just go and do it anyway, and then I end up in a situation.
Yeah, you
right?
end up with scars. You end up with scars.
Right. So like, you know, I think it's just part of, you know, development and, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, the difference is.
Yeah, D is like, don't do that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And then I go do it, and it blows up my face.
The difference is when a lot of us grew up, the internet wasn't there to haunt us forever.
Right.
And there's the difference. Like,
man, did we like slide under Indiana Jones style on that one? Yeah,
right.
We wouldn't be here right now if it was available.
Yeah, if CCTV existed when we were young.
Oh yeah, it'd be a totally different, experience. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we come from a different time, so I think you know the youth growing up today, they're faced with so many different challenges that I can't relate to.
Yeah.
And they're going to make mistakes, like Roberto's talking. They don't. We all make mistakes growing up.
Sure.
I'm not sure if they understand the gravity of the mistakes that they're going to make if they make those mistakes online.
Right.
And there's no way to prepare them for that. You can try to warn them.
Especially like there's a lot of kids that come onto YouTube and they try to make shocking content and try to make like explicit content and things like that, thinking it's going to grab attention because they are kind of acting out. Man, they just don't know what that's going to look like, you know, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Right? Like when they're trying to like do stuff and people are like, hey, let me just Google this person real quick. And they're like, oh my God, this person's a monster.
Yeah.
Right?
Daniel says, thank the Lord there were no cell phones with cameras built into them when I was my youth. Yeah. And Roberto says, I've been thinking about making a video on YouTube advice for teenagers. Man, make that video. I make that video. I don't know if it's going to do well, but I think someone needs to make that video at least so other people can reference that video.
Yep.
And in the long term,
you can make that video on your channel.
And in the long term, you can never say, "Well, I warned you."
Right.
I made a video.
Yeah,
you guys didn't. I warned you. I tried to tell you.
Yep.
I stood on the mountaintop and I yelled. I warned you guys. Don't do it. And you started an OnlyFans anyway.
Yep. Nishan says Nishan says y'all didn't play Oregon Trail online in the 80s. Oh, I played Oregon Trail online in the 80s. Played I think it's called Castle Wolfenstein or something like that. Back when it was like floppy disk and you slide that floppy disk in and it's just like a black screen with green on it and you're just trying to move through the things there. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, we played Doctor.
See, that's why that's why we're glad the internet wasn't there. Okay, so next up,
CCTV.
Next question that we have is from Morgansoft. They do science and tech content. The goal of the channel is I want to get monetized while telling stories. The question is, I would like to change my niche, but don't want to lose my subscribers or watch hours. Most of my videos are based on faceless, and I want to move to more personal. Okay, I think we answered that one already. And then we have Elder Fox Documentaries is the name of the channel. The type of channel is science. The goal of the channel is to make a living. And the question is, what do you think about the recent trend of combining older videos to make mega marathon videos? We talked about that one as well, so I'll go ahead to the next one. So next up, we've got Tough Bass. Like the channel name.
Love that channel name.
Yeah, they
Tough
do
bass.
Sorry. Fishing and outdoor content.
It's like
I'm like, oh sweet, a bass head, and then like scroll down and I'm like, oh, fishing.
Yeah, it's like the toughest
bass.
Bass.
Like okay, got it.
This
bass.
is the toughest bass in the river.
Yep.
Toughest bass in the Mississippi.
Yep. They do fishing and outdoor content. The goal is to go full time. The question is, even at 30,000 subscribers, it seems my uploads, which I believe are extremely high quality and perform well at launch, do not get many impressions compared to other similar sized channels in my niche. Any idea on how to get more impressions? This is not going to be what you want to hear.
Ask the bass.
But this isn't going to be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. So you believe that what you're doing is extremely high quality. It might look extremely high quality, but if people are not responding to it the way that they're responding to those other videos, then in the eyes of the viewers, it might look great, but they're not having the experience at the same level as they are with the other channels that you're talking about. That's how this whole thing works. And we all are, we're all at the mercy of this very specific thing. So when it comes to YouTube, everything on YouTube is based on response. That means if you publish something and people respond to it very well on home pages, YouTube's going to keep recommending it there. If they respond to it well in suggested videos, they're going to keep recommending it there. If people respond to it well in search, they're going to keep recommending to it there. If they don't respond well in one of these places, then in that particular case, YouTube's going to prioritize the content that people do respond to well in those particular places. So when it comes to YouTube, we think that what we do is good because we are biased, because we are making things in our style and we're making decisions around our content based on the things that we personally like. In a perfect world, those things sync up perfectly with the people that, that YouTube is recommending our content to, and they like the same things that we do, and everything, ends up lining up perfectly. However, in reality, when you first publish your videos, because you said here that, they do well at launch and then they kind of fall flat. So when you first publish your videos, those people that are seeing that video are the people that are the most likely to enjoy that content at that moment in time on the platform. Those people are, the ones that YouTube is recommending your content to there, and they do enjoy it. So you're nailing it for those people. The problem that you're having right now compared to the other videos or the other, channels is that as soon as you get out of that initial group, or once you get a few groups, out, then in that case, those channels are still able to bring people in and still able to have, larger groups of people enjoying that content. People with, interests that maybe aren't a perfect fit, but they start to get a little bit varied, right? So the difference is when your content gets out into those larger audiences, you're not able to maintain that competitive nature that you had for that ideal audience for your content. And because of that, what happens is it starts slowing everything down compared to, some of the other people that you're up against. They're able to keep up that momentum because as YouTube shows their content to larger and larger groups of people, they're still able to keep them actively involved in what it is that they're doing, where with you, you're not able to maintain that response at a competitive level yet. So because of that, what I recommend that you do is that you do spend a lot of time just trying to, again, better understand the audience and the people that you're trying to reach. Make sure that, when you are publishing videos to YouTube, that you are going into your audience retention reports and your analytics in general. And instead of looking at it through the lens of like, I believe all my stuff is extremely high quality, and this is probably not going to be something you want to hear either. But instead of taking that approach, I challenge you to look at it a different way. If you're not getting the results that you want, and we all have to do this, I do it too. So when you publish something and it doesn't go the way that you like it to go, look in the mirror and say to yourself, my content isn't as good as I think that it is. People are not responding to this in the way that I would like them to respond to it, which means that I'm not in alignment with what other people think is good or how other people are experiencing with this content. That means that I have work that I need to do. So therefore, I need to go into my content and I need to learn how to, make videos better by looking at my audience retention reports and studying how people are responding to my videos, based on how they're responding to my audience retention reports. I'm going to select the drop down in my audience retention reports that shows how I'm comparing to other videos of similar length to make sure that I'm at least being competitive there and that I'm above average across the board. In addition to that, I'm going to make sure that I'm looking at my click-through rate on my videos, and I'm looking at, how people are responding to my videos on different pages of YouTube through my traffic sources report in terms of the click-through rate. I'm also going to make sure that I'm looking to see how good I am at getting people to come back to my channel, because that's another important thing too when you're publishing videos. Like the channels that are thriving, they're good in all of those areas compared to, the videos that end up falling flat. But one thing that I do want to remind you of is that it's very common, and you got 30,000 subscribers. When you publish a video for it to do awesome and then kind of taper down and then start picking up again later, right? That's a really common thing. So because of that, keep in mind that, some of your videos, as, they do kind of, lose that initial momentum, some of those videos will pick up steam, or they'll start bringing in just like a normal average view count per day. It might be 10 viewers, it might be 100 viewers, it might be 1,000 viewers or 10,000 viewers, depending on, what's going on with your content. But just because it does taper off doesn't mean that it's dead. It just means that, once you got into those groups, that those particular groups started responding to it less compared to the other content they had to choose from.
So Daniel made an interesting comment, and I've said something similar to this before, and I strongly believe this. He says, we're not allowed to decide if your content is high quality or good. Only the audience can do that. I believe it may have been Andy Warhol who said this, and I could be wrong. But someone said something similar where we don't decide as artists or creators if your art is good. The world decides.
Yep.
Like you make the art how you want to make the art to the best of your ability.
Great.
Whatever you think art is, give it to the world, and then the world decides if it's good art or not.
Yep.
And I strongly believe that.
Yeah, I do
Make
too.
it the best of your ability. Make it what you think is good, and then the world decides if they think it's good.
Yeah,
And that's
like,
all you can do.
I think you still decide if it's good based on your own thing when you're
Based on
making
what
it.
you think,
but
but
if you want other people to enjoy it, then you
Right.
have to use that as the marker.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
totally.
Like when you say, I make good content, you might.
Yeah.
You might make phenomenal content.
Right.
But if it's not getting a response, it could be for several reasons. The
Right.
packaging could be wrong.
Right.
There's a
Your
million-
competition could just be fierce.
Yeah, yeah. There's
like your
so-
content could be awesome, but
Right.
but just the other people are doing it, at a level that's better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of reasons why you might be in the situation.
And you got to 30,000 subscribers. Like your content's, it's good. You're getting there, right?
Yeah.
But you definitely need to improve if you're trying to compete with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's something everybody goes through. We all go through this period where you think you're like, well, I'm getting pretty good at this, and you are, and it's great to be like, yeah, pat yourself on the back. I'm getting the hang of this. I'm getting better at it. I think I do a pretty good job. And then the most painful thing is when you think, and this still happens. I guarantee it happens to Roberto. I know it happens to you. It happens to Daniel. It happens to me. It happens to Tom. Now I know it happens to everyone in here who's grown successful channels. I know that you've made videos before thinking they're gonna love this. I can't wait to finish this one.
Yep.
I think this might be my best.
Yep.
And it just
Comments are going to be great. Like, I'm
I-
going to be so busy with comments. I'm not even going to have any time for anything. Like, they're going to love it.
This is going to be the win that I needed, and it just flops.
Yeah.
Or you look at the audience retention, and it's just like it tanks out of
Yep.
the gate.
Yep.
It's just and you're just like, wow,
Yep.
boy, did I gauge that one wrong.
Right.
But that's what I'm talking about. You think, right? You think this is some of
It's
my.
that bias.
You think this is some of your best
Yeah.
work. You put it out there, and the world says, nah, no, we disagree.
Yep.
That's hard, man. That is a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah,
Ver-
just all of that in a nutshell is YouTube is a competitive platform. If other people are doing better in your niche, that means that people are responding to what it is that they're doing more. Other things come into play also, like recent viewer history. So, like for example, like if somebody's publishing a lot and they're getting a good response from the content they're publishing, you're not publishing a lot, then there's going to be a difference there because they have more people that have interacted with the channel recently for YouTube to recommend the content to and stuff like that. That's where the momentum side of things come from. But at the end of the day, one really good video can, get you right back on track again or make you be able to start competing again. But you just have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I gotta, there's something I got to do here. Even if I think what I'm doing is good, people aren't responding to it at the level I would like them to. So therefore, I need to learn why, and I need to start experimenting with my content to try to make content in a way that they will respond to better. Right.
You have a channel member, Melinda Elliott, says, my question disappeared. Melinda, if you put something in the chat and it just disappeared, you may have put in a word that automatically flagged it.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask your question again. If you think that you might have used some type of trigger word, because I've got a bunch of crazy stuff in my blocked words list. So if you said something and it disappeared, it's probably because you mentioned something there.
She says, I got accepted into the YouTube creator community.
Oh, nice.
What was
Nice.
the question?
Congratulations.
Yeah, keep going. Then she says, do you know it? Do you know the YouTube creator community?
Yeah, so if you mean that you got an email directly from YouTube inviting you into partner management, to have like a partner manager or something like that, then in that particular case, congratulations on that. I know that is a thing. I know that they also send out like community emails where they give you like updates on your channel and things like that. Like for example, they just sent out one to like lots of different channels about the I think it's the community tab and just talking about like the community tab and stuff and talking about how to get your viewers engaged in the community tab, stuff like that. Those will often come, from something framed as like a, creator community. So it might be that as well.
Yeah, just make sure if something was sent to you via email and they want you to open something or download something, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't open anything. Don't click on anything. Don't download anything.
Yep. SEM Comics says, is uploading every day bad for your channel? Not if your audience is responding to it, and not if you still make time for development. So when it comes to uploading every day, if you make really good content and you can consistently do it and you can keep up with the workload of putting it out every day and people continue to respond to it, then you can really do well. However, if you are just focused on just getting videos out and you're not trying to make those videos better, you don't have any time to like learn, to spend time, experimenting with thumbnails and things like that, then in that particular case, it can work against you there, because, the old way, like way a long time ago, people were able to just like flood YouTube with content. They were able to grow the channels just based on volume. Now it's a totally different game than it used to be, and everything is based 100% on how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. So if the content isn't up to par, it's not at a competitive level for YouTube, it doesn't matter how many videos you upload, it's still going to be the same. That's why it's important to make sure that you are reserving time for skill development, to where you're actively going in, seeing how people are responding to what it is that you're doing, looking for patterns in that response. You're actively trying to develop skills around, just different aspects of the gig, so to speak.
So to speak. Well, I really hurt my throat.
Did you?
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out here. And I do want to remind you, if you are a new content creator that's just getting started, or if you're somebody that isn't getting the results that you're after right now, hang in there. You got this. This whole thing is a learning curve. This whole thing, it's a channel member thing. I'll say it here in a second. Okay. But this whole thing is a learning curve. And with that learning curve, we're all constantly evolving through this process. And it's, if you're not getting that result that you want right now, it just means that there's more to learn, more skills that you got to develop, more, things you got to understand about what it is that you're doing. And it's okay. Right? So just embrace where you're at right now and just stay focused on like, okay, how can I make sure that I publish my next video, and how can I make sure that that video is just a little bit better from the ones that I've published so far. And you just keep working on that until you hit that stride. And then once your content gets to a level that's more competitive for the platform, that's where you'll start breaking through, some of those barriers that you might be hitting right now. And on that note, D, great stream.
Yep.
And really quick, Spanish World says, if my thumbnail has been created using AI, should I click to indicate the AI was used, even though the video itself is not created with AI? Not unless there's something misleading there, but even with that, people don't see that from the outside. So no, if you're doing it in your content itself, that's where you want to make that disclosure. But on that note, everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next week.
Mm-hmm.
See Elliot?
Oh, by the way, I got a bunch of stuff down in the video description for you too. So a bunch of helpful tools and resources to make sure that you check those out as well. On the way out, really quick.
Thank you, Melinda.
Yep. Thanks for watching.